Welcome to Deer Creek Stadium and Deer Creek High School campus, home of the Antlers. Tonight, we have a 6A Division I versus Division II matchup. The Edmond Memorial Bulldogs are coming to campus, and they will be taking on your Antlers tonight. This is the last week of non-district play before district competition starts next week. It's the Deer Creek Marching Band.
The Star-Spangled Banner honors Americans from everywhere who have sacrificed to protect the land of the free. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor our flag, those who defend it, and the freedom it represents, Superintendent Lynette Tippins, Principal Melissa Jordan, and Athletic Director Bill Bays invite you to join Director of Bands Darby Cassidy and the Antler Pride Marching Band in the singing of our national anthem. It's time to get on your feet and get fired up for Deer Creek football. Please join the Antler Pride Marching Band as they lead us in the Deer Creek Fight Song. number 94, Mason Roberts, and number 54, Charlie Sunran. For Deer Creek, captains are number 1, Paxton Gary, number 5, Jarrett Burright, number 29, Dylan Beers, and number 68, Daxton Byers. Our guest captain for tonight is Bryson Rudd. Bryson is a 4th grader at Grove Valley. Bryson's favorite thing to do is play sports with friends. His favorite football player is Deshaun Watson. When Bryson grows up, he wants to be an NFL player. Congratulations to Bryson Rudd, our captain of the game. Deer Creek has won the toss and is deferred to the second half. Memorial will receive. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 100th anniversary of Harley Davidson B-Rod. Deer Creek, Kansas.
Welcome back to Antler Field as the Antlers take the field to take on the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs. Good evening, everyone. This is Rick Harris, and I'm joined by the voice of the Deer Creek Antlers, Scott Hazelwood. Scott, week 3.
Bring it on.
Non-district play. Last week before it gets real. Next week is district play, and that's when playoffs are on the line.
That's right. So tonight the Antlers still can, quote-unquote, be in experimental mode as they try and sort out exactly how they want to approach district play. So even though we've had some tough games these first couple times through, it's good learning for district coming up. That's where the magic needs to happen.
It's kind of a tenderizing, if you will, before the big games that start in week 4 when you have to play teams in your district and look for that spot in the playoffs. These first 3 games have been scheduled against 6A Division I schools, opened up at Moore and last week at Norman High School. Tonight we host our first game, our home opener, and we're playing the neighbors from just to the east of us, the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs.
And it should be exciting. You know, reflecting back on the first couple of weeks, I don't know that there were, any glaring issues. I think one area of focus that we can work on, and hopefully there's been some improvement that we can show improvement, is finishing off points inside the red zone.
Several times we've been, moving the football, especially in the first half, which is the half we tend to own in the first 2 games. But the second half has been like a tale of a different story. That's for sure. We've been struggling to move the football and defensively to slow these bigger, stronger, faster teams down a little bit.
It's like they wear us out just a little bit. But for the most part, the defense has played really good.
They really have.
We just need to get where we can finish off some drives. And if we can do that tonight, we'll be in business.
Now, we have played 2 extremely tough opponents in our first 2 weeks. I was looking on Max Preps today, and I believe we have our schedule at this point, the 4th toughest schedule in 6A. So we're not playing any patsies, that's for sure. And Memorial will provide all the energy that we should have. This should be a budding rivalry if there ever was one.
Yeah, because of the close proximity of the 2 schools, and they're about roughly close to the same size. So here we go. Logan Ward set to kick the ball off for your home opener.
Here we go.
This ball will be returnable.
That's Peter Roll.
Raleigh. Peter Raleigh on the return.
Senior. The Bulldogs will start in pretty good field position at the 29.
It's a pretty decent return, about 15 yards or so. And that was a straight kickoff.
Yeah, we hadn't seen very many of those, have we? We've seen onside, we've seen deep pooches, we've seen kicked out of the end zone.
We've seen the whole gamut.
So here are the Bulldogs.
So here we go, the first time through on defense, and we'll see what we can dial up here. I know that Memorial has struggled at times offensively, looking at some of their previous scores.
Now they're riding a high. They beat Edmond North last week, which is the big one of the Edlum games, so I'm sure they're feeling pretty good about themselves.
That's a huge game, but it was like 13-7 or something.
Right,
like
it was
that.
a low-scoring game.
So here we go.
So they'll check with me play to start things off. Let's see how our big guys, Xander Crawford, Reed Eden, and Garrick Johnson do in controlling the line of scrimmage tonight.
We got offs.
think everybody had one snap and the center had the other.
You know, it's one of those things that drives you nuts on the very first play of the game. You don't want to take a penalty like that. You know, you'd think you'd have sort of everything scripted out just a little bit. Quarterbacking for the Bulldogs tonight is number 6, Trace Evans.
Trace is a junior quarterback, 5'10", 175. Looking for a quick hitter right across, and the receiver busted his route, it looked like. Number 17, Peyton Medeiros.
That ball falls incomplete.
He was throwing an out route, and Medeiros was running a slant. So, second and long.
So Trace Evans is joined in the backfield with Mason Williams as his running back. And Mason gets
There
the
goes
call.
Williams off the side. That's right.
The ball came loose, but it looked like he was down by contact first. It's a gain of about 4 yards on the play. He's gonna put the. It's a little longer than 4. Wow, it's about 5 yards on the play. So that'll get the Bulldogs to 3rd down, 5 yards to go.
It's a manageable down, getting it back, getting the penalty yards back. Split to the right is Andrew Horton in the slot, number 11.
So Evans fires his pass intended for Cole Emmons, and it falls incomplete. And if he would have caught it, I don't know that it would have been.
I don't know if he would have made it.
Down.
Yeah, that's true.
So the Antlers come up big on their first defensive series, holding the Bulldogs to about 5 yards of offense.
3 and out, and that's what you want when you're opening up at home.
That's right.
Deep for the Antlers, I believe. Is that, yeah, that's number 3, Elijah Allen. Sometimes it's Dylan Diaz, but Allen is deep tonight. Here's the kick.
So the punt from Jamie Buckley.
About a 32, 33-yard punt. That's not bad in high school. And we're in business at what looks like 33-yard line, Scott.
Good field position for the Antlers to start off their first offensive drive of the game.
Now, it should be noted that, you know, we didn't mention it on the defensive side, but Antlers are short one of their two-way players in Paxton Gary. He is in street clothes on the sideline. We're not sure what the injury was, but he did get nicked up last week against Norman.
He went out of that game a little early and did not come back. Well, he tried a couple times.
He tried a couple times, that's right.
But ended up staying out in the second half.
So Jarrett Burright taking the snap.
He's got a receiver open. The ball is just over the outstretched arms.
Actually, that's number 6 out there, Scott. That's Gavin Huska.
Gavin Huska.
6 foot 180 quarterback.
That's a
sophomore.
Good throw from Burright, just a bit long. So if maybe Huska could have run a little bit downhill, he may have been able to lean into that ball.
We were not aware that there was going to be a quarterback change, but Lamoris Davis is in the backfield with him. He's started all 3 games now. Axel Welch is still in the starting lineup. There goes Morris off the right side.
Morris with a good strong run right there. Gain of 12 yards on the play.
You know, Morris has been one of the bright spots of the offense that's really struggled to put points on the board the first 2 weeks. He's averaging 87 yards per game on the ground.
He's doing really good. He's shouldered the load, and he's been able to produce some very positive yards for the Antlers. So Huska in the backfield with Davis. And another quick pass.
Ooh. Right on the money.
And that goes to Axel Welch, who's been a good receiver so far in the early games.
Now we had I was going to say, I thought I saw the ball come loose. It was an incomplete pass. It was a nice play. I mean, isolate him over on the sideline and run a little hitch route and got through his fingers, didn't quite hang on.
So second down and 10 yards to go for the Antlers here. Huska gives to Davis.
Davis.
Catch him in the backfield.
Like we have.
Be a loss of 1 yard on the play about. Maybe So loss of 2 yards on the play is going to give the Antlers 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, Mullins and Taylor were in the backfield, jammed up Lamorris, and he tried to create some yards by going left and was sacked for a couple-yard loss.
So Burright is your wide receiver here on the near sideline. So, and Huska's looking for him. No.
A big man.
Goes to Welch.
Axel Welch, he might go.
And he's on the run and brought down right inside the 10-yard line. That's a great big 3rd down play for your Antlers.
About a 50-yard gain there for Axel, the big senior, 6'6", 230 pounds.
And Huska's ball was right on the money. He made the job easy for Axel to catch that.
He just doubled his receiving total. About a 50-yard catch. He's caught 2 balls for 50 yards in the previous. 5 catches for 50 yards in the previous 2 games.
So Davis with the carry. He's met at the line of scrimmage. And it looks like Ian McDonald was the first into the backfield to slow Davis down. Looks like no gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and goal to go. And this is where we've sort of fizzled out.
Yeah, this has been our tough spot. We've made mistakes, penalties, lack of execution, you name it. We've been there. We just haven't done that.
We've experienced a lot of things down here. So if we can put together a good little 8-yard drive, that's all we need.
This would be a huge boost to the offense, who's really struggled.
Yes, it will.
First 2 weeks.
So Davis gets the call again, and is
Bulldogs are
wrapped up
all over
at
that.
the line of scrimmage.
Back to the 10-yard line now. We're going to look at 3rd down and goal. Actually, the 9.
So loss of 1 yard on that play. And Deer Creek, or the Bulldogs have been able to get into the backfield on some of these run plays and sort of disrupt the timing just a little bit, or force Davis out of the lane that he was.
Now we got
for.
Axel isolated over here on the left side, and they're going to go to him.
Big jump ball, Axel Welch. Oh,
can't come up with it. That's the right play. I mean, if you're going to go to your big guy.
That's right.
Try to put it up in the air. And again, this is where the frustration lies with the offense. Big play gets them down close, but they just can't punch the ticket. So we're going to go and see if we can't get at least 3 on the board.
So Logan Ward is in to
He's been pretty consistent for
give
us
us a
most
field
of the
goal
week.
attempt here, and that's Burright holding.
He is 3 for 3 on points after touchdown, and he is 1 for 4 on field goals, as long being 27.
Snaps good,
So
holds good,
26.
and it
It's
is
good. Attaboy.
So there you go. Logan Ward with the
great start.
with the 3 points on the board for the Antlers, and that comes at 8 minutes 31 seconds left in the first quarter. So not a bad start. Positive points, good defensive stop on the first go around for your Antlers.
You know, it should be noted, they've been in both games. I mean, the scores have not been indicative of how well the Antlers have been playing in the first half, especially. They have been in the game, and they've actually had a lead against Norman, believe it or not,
and against Southmore
through most of the first half. Same with Southmore, but it just seemed like as the game wore on, we faded a little bit, and the other team flexed their muscles and broke the game open. So hopefully Coach Stanley has figured the formula out, and maybe we can put it all together tonight against a crosstown rival.
That'd be great. It's always fun to beat a rival.
Yes, it is. You know, back in the day, Deer Creek's big rival was Piedmont. And it's kind of sad that those rivalry days are over, but surely the Edmond schools will provide all the rivalry that
I
the Antlers
think
will
there's
want.
no need to worry about that. So Logan Ward's in to kick the ball off, and deep for the Bulldogs is Peter Raleigh and Jacob Givens. Raleigh received the last kickoff, and this is a good one. It's going through the end zone.
Again.
We haven't seen that yet this year.
He blasted that one. Good job.
It's a good ball by Logan. So this will take us to the second series for the Bulldogs, and on their first one, they earned about 6 yards total, and our defense was able to put the kibosh on that. So let's see if we can get a rinse and repeat.
That's right. Guys to look for on the defensive end, Parker Johnson and Dylan Beers had just fantastic games last week. It seems like they were calling their name every single play. Those kids can really swarm to the football. And then Dylan Diaz, keep an eye on him, number 10.
The handoff goes to Williams, trying to get to that edge. I don't know that he got there. And if he did, it's only for a yard or so. We'll see where the referees come in with their spot. It's like a 1-yard gain on the play.
Good play by Mason Martin coming in and filling. He's taking Paxton Gary's spot.
So Mason Williams and Nate Williams in the backfield for the Bulldogs.
Got 2 backs in the backfield. There goes Williams.
So that ball is a backwards pass completed to Nate
Great
Williams.
play. Great play by Dylan Diaz. Wow. If he gets past Diaz, there's just one more guy to make miss, and he could have gone the yard on that one. That was a great play by number 10, Dylan Diaz,
That's
junior.
good defense.
Junior at 6 foot 190.
So about no gain on a play. So 3rd down, 9 yards to go. And it looks like Memorial will again go with kind of that. Nope, they move one of their kids out of the backfield.
They're going to deuce 2 wide receivers on each side.
So
Now they're going to motion to trips.
Mason Williams in the backfield.
Uh-oh.
And
That
Trace
was
Evans' pass.
Near disaster.
Trace Evans' pass is just over Andrew Horton's outstretched arms.
They used the motion to draw the linebacker out, which opened the gap for Horton to run through. It's just a little bit too strong on the throw.
If he had a step on the Antler
Yeah,
defensive
absolutely.
back right there. So that was a good overthrow.
Very fortunate on that play.
So Jamie Buckley, I think is how I say his name, is in punt formation for the Bulldogs.
2 good sets for the Antlers, 2
That
3
is-
and outs.
That is not a very good punt, and it makes it just to the 40-yard line of the Bulldogs. So
A
really
20-yard punt.
about a 20-yard punt.
Yeah, not a good turnover there. I mean, as far as moving the ball down the field to change possessions. It's great for us. Let's see if we can't punch the ball into the end zone.
Take advantage of the field position here.
Exactly.
So first series out, the Antlers are able to move the ball all the way down the field from their 33-yard line. So they put together a 67-yard drive that ended in a field goal. I shouldn't say 67-yard drive, but they ended up with 3 points on their previous drive, and that's a good start.
I'm curious if Burright is out at wide receiver because of the gap that Gary, not having Gary in the wide receiving core, has made, and Huska is a capable backup.
Maybe.
Just curious about that.
You know, if you're trying to get your 11 best players on the field,
Yes.
sometimes you do things a little bit different.
Exactly. Great run there by, that's number 18, Josh Bakari, junior, 5'10", 151. He'll have to come out, not lost his helmet. It's not a new rule anymore, but if a high school player loses his helmet, they're off the field for at least one play.
I like that rule because I think sometimes players get, a little careless with how they strap in, and this really encourages them to make sure that they're done right.
Sprint out left, pass
So
to the
Huska
big man.
finds who else but Axel Welch.
He seems to be the emphasis in tonight's game plan, isn't it? They've gone to him 3 times. He dropped the first one, but more than made up for it with the big 50-yard catch
Right.
in the previous drive.
And that one is a gain up to the 34-yard line. So 3rd down and about 3 yards to go. So this is a good position to be in for the Antlers. And here you go, little check the sidelines.
Check
See
with
what we
me
need.
and maybe change the play up.
Davis in the backfield with Huska. He goes in motion.
Good
And a
quarterback
little
draw.
quarterback draw there.
Nice move.
And Huska is all the way down to the 24-yard line.
That over the last, this has been the 3rd week. That has been maybe their best play. We scored a touchdown with Burright in the first week against Southmore
And it was a
on a
great
quarterback
play.
draw.
Yes.
And then last week we ran it effectively a couple of times.
And Davis is a threat to catch the ball out of the backfield.
And
You
they
got-
have
you
to
gotta
honor
keep-
that.
You got to honor that. So there goes Burright out wide on the far side of the field. Big Axel Welch goes in motion. Crazy snap. Somehow Davis gets the ball
breaks the tackle.
from Huska, and he's down to about the
Well, we're going to have
10-yard
holding.
line.
We're going to have holding on the back end of the play after Morris had broken free. White Hat threw the penalty flag, and we're going to have a hold. That's unfortunate, but that has been a common denominator problem for the Antlers first 2 weeks.
And you know what? The Antlers have played really pretty clean football.
Yeah.
But in situations like this, they have shot themselves in the foot a couple of times.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will just be a one-off event here, and we can make up these yards back. Doesn't hurt them on the down marker, so it's still first down, but it's a long ways to go.
Well, you just kind of have to change your recipe on how you're going to pick up, yardages in chunks. The big right here is to try to get something positive to
Right.
get you rolling in the right direction.
Take 2 yards or take 2 plays to try and get down
Yeah.
to like 3rd and 5 or something like that.
Exactly.
So Davis in the backfield with Huska, who's got the ball, and he's looking.
Going deep on a.
He's going deep, and he's looking for Elijah Allen.
There's the penalty. I thought there was a little contact there, and the trailing line judge didn't throw his flag, but the deep back judge did. He saw the contact.
So the penalty goes against the Bulldogs. So there you go. There's
It'll be
one
an
way.
automatic. It'll be an automatic first down.
There's one way to make up that yardage.
Yep.
And pick up a first down
Yeah,
at the same
exactly.
time.
I believe it's automatic first down.
I think it is. So that'll move them from the. Well, let's see where they count it off.
I got to go back to the line of scrimmage and count it off
So I got it from the
15 yards.
Got the 34-yard line as the line of scrimmage. So that should put it up to the 19, right?
Should.
So we're gonna. Here we go. All right, there it goes. Ball placed at the 19-yard line.
All right, here's the call. Pass interference at Memorial.
Pass interference on the defense.
It'll be a first down. Yep.
Should be a
Automatic first down.
Good deal, good deal. So Huska he's been on the money with some of his throws. A
Oh,
little long on that first one.
I take it back. It's still first down because that was the play, and you get to play over. But the chains don't move here because it wasn't enough for a first down.
Okay.
So it's 1st and 5,
1st and 5.
which is a lot better to manage it for sure.
So Davis again, sort of an almost identical play it looks like. And
Boy,
look at Davis
Davis
is
is
just really
running
moving
hard.
the pile there, working hard.
I think he got the first down there with that second
too.
effort.
The referee on the far side has stepped up to the 15-yard line, so that'll give him a first down. There it is, officially a first down and 10 yards to go, and tough running by Davis. And that's 2 snaps in a row that have come at Huska, and he's had to manage that and get the ball off.
They're seeing something over on the left side. Last week it was the right
It
side.
was all right side, yes.
Tonight they seem to be attacking the left side. And that's a sign of a good coordinator that can see that maybe where the weak link might be and attack that.
And it was
that place.
good running from Davis there.
Oh,
He never
absolutely.
quit his legs. He kept them running the whole time.
There's the fake
So
to
here-
it.
Fake to Davis.
Huska,
Huska
get rid of
in
it, son.
trouble. And he's going to make the edge and runs out of bounds about the 13-yard line.
He's a big old boy. I mean, there's no question. He is 6 foot 180. I'm sure once he gets moving like he did, he's not the easiest cat to bring down.
So they've got him marked off at the 12-yard line, so it's about a 3-yard gain on the play.
Which could very easily have been a 5-10 yard loss.
Right.
Memorial defender was in the backfield, had his hands on him, but he broke the tackle.
So Huska and Davis in the backfield. And Huska, he's looking for the end zone right here, and he's just over the head of Will Michael.
Well, I don't think Will was running a pass route. He was downfield blocking, never turned around.
Yeah, if that was a timing play, one of them was not in the time. So
And judging by how he's talking to the guys in the huddle, I think he didn't know that was to him. That was a pass play. So a little communication breakdown. Comes to 3rd and 8. Let's see if they isolate Axel again over on the right side. He's all by himself at tight end.
we've got 3 wide receivers over here to the left. Huska's ball into the end zone. Oh, gets tipped.
Tipped by number 10, Blake Horton.
And it was intended for, looked like Ryan Fitzpatrick was the intended receiver, if I'm reading my numbers correctly.
So here comes
87, my fault. Randy Childers.
Here comes Logan Ward. See if he can't put 2 in a row together. 29-yard kick. He's been pretty much money from between the 20 and the 30-yard range. Getting to 30 yards and above is where he struggled.
But he's got the leg to do it.
He does
so.
have the leg. That's
And
for
we
sure.
watched him kicking at halftime last week, and he was really hitting that ball a long way.
That
Snap
looks
is
good.
down, ball is up, and the
Yes,
referees
sir.
say it's good. So that's 2 drives and 6 points for the Antlers.
4:34 left in the first. Antlers have scored both times they've had the football. 6-0 Antlers.
And they've moved the ball consistently the whole time. So in the first couple of games in that first quarter, we had a hard time getting the ball moved consistently. And here we were able to do it 2 drives in a row, so that's great.
Now, another positive sign is they've overcome 2 mistakes.
Right.
Overcome a couple of mistakes to get points on the board. Points are important for these guys.
So points on the board for 2 drives in a row.
Now, I'm just curious. I'm wondering what defense the Bulldogs will be this week, because the first week they gave up 60 points against Stillwater, and then last week they shut down Edmond North to just 7.
Right.
So we've been able to put points on the board the last 2 drives. I'm hoping that we have the first week's defense, so
Yeah.
we can.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to do that. So Logan Ward's in to kick the ball off, and he's going to kick it to J.J. Ruff and Jacob Givens. His last ball went through the end zone.
This one's high,
This one's
and it'll
high,
take him into
and
the
it's
end
gonna-
zone.
So that's J.J. Ruff. So the ball will come out to the 20-yard line, and it'll be series number 3 for the Bulldogs.
You know, the Bulldogs have a new head coach over there. You and I both know him really well. He's a good guy named Luke Orvis. And if the Bulldogs struggle this year, it's probably going to be just 1 year, because he will have them turned around. He turned around a pretty average Colorado program. He was gone for a couple of years and then got the opportunity to come back, and he is the head coach now for
He knows
his
how to
Bulldogs.
speak to the kids and teach them.
Exactly
and,
right.
And he's very, very good at doing that. So I wish Luke all the best, except tonight.
No, not tonight. Yeah, sorry, Luke.
He's got some flags on the play.
The second time that the Bulldogs have had a snap faux pas. Yeah, I said faux pas
So that's
on the
gonna be,
air.
So,
I'm probably going to hear about that one later.
you know, it happens.
Yeah.
If you have an accident, it's a faux pas.
A little French for you there. I mean, I think that's what it is. It's French, right?
Yeah,
I certainly hope
that's
so.
what I say. So it's going to be
We're gonna
first
stick
down
with that.
First down and 15 to go for the Bulldogs from there.
Who on the flip side of the coin, they've gone 3 and out their last 2 possessions.
Right. And that, I believe that was Nate Williams on the carry. So there's 2 Williams in the backfield for the Bulldogs. This one was Nate Williams on the carry. And I believe he lost a yard.
Ben Likes, I think, was on the play that time. Number 33.
So it's gonna take it to second down and about 16 yards
About
to
15,
go.
16, yeah.
So the defense tonight for the Antlers has been spot on. They haven't given up any big plays.
They're really swarming to the football. They're doing really well.
So that pass from Trace Evans is
Got a
complete
fumble.
to
We got a
Peyton
fumble.
Medeiros, and it looks like the Antlers have recovered it.
Dylan Diaz on the recovery, stripped by, I believe that was number 3, Elijah Allen, that stripped the ball, and Diaz picked it up and ran it down the right sideline to about the 17-yard line, Scott. We're in business again.
That is an excellent defensive play. So again, can we take advantage?
Let's watch it on replay here on Antler Vision. They haven't been able to turn very many people over the last couple of weeks, but that was huge.
Big play, big play.
See if
So here we go, Huska to Lamoris Davis, and he runs into a big, gigantic pile of human.
Yeah, he moved the pile a little bit,
But
though.
he did.
He
He's
didn't
done
get
that a
knocked
couple
backwards.
times.
Yeah, his legs are really. Okay, here comes Diaz into the game for Davis. It's kind of a thunder and lightning combo.
So I can't see that they picked up any yardage on that, even though I think that Lamoris should have probably been tackled in the backfield.
Axel shifts over to the right side.
High snap again, but
There goes
Diaz takes the
Diaz.
ball.
He's another tough guy to tackle.
Man, he is. It is thunder and lightning because they run completely different styles.
That's right. His rushing in 2 games, he's had 15 carries for 55 yards. Now, that's only 3.7 yards per carry, but he has made some big plays from the tailback position, the running back position. He had a nice run last week against Norman.
So it's going to have It's going to be third down here. Diaz stays in the backfield. Huska.
It's an ISO.
Again.
There you go. Touchdown.
Touchdown
Antlers.
Antlers, and that was Johnny Osborne.
That's Big Axel.
Oh, is that
That's
Axel?
Big Axel, number 12.
Gosh, I'm going to have to just have my field glasses on tonight.
Yeah, that was a terrific play. Isolating Axel over on the walks into the end zone for 6 points. Touchdown, Deer Creek.
Logan Ward on for the extra point. And it's good. So 2 minutes, 34 seconds left in the first quarter here. Deer Creek 13, Edmond Memorial 0, and that was a great pass and catch by Huska and Welch.
That's right. I mean, that's the 4th or 5th time they've gone to Axel, and he's turned one into a big 50-yard catch. He's had another one for 5 or 6 yards, and then that one for the touchdown.
And
he's having quite a night.
And they targeted him in the previous series, and he got his fingers on a ball in the back corner.
That's
one
right.
of those fade routes. So game plan is designed around Welch, it looks like, tonight.
Absolutely. And that's not a bad guy to have your game plan. He's huge.
He's a big
huge
boy.
target. 6'6", 230 pounds. Wonder if Coach Donnelly's talking to him about basketball. 6'6", 230. That's a monster.
That's a big man that you can put in the middle of the paint and just have him clean
Absolutely.
people up.
That's right.
So Logan Ward set to kick the ball off here. And again, this one's going to carry through the back of the end zone, so he is on fire to end fuego. All right.
So the Bulldogs, this will be their 4th possession. They've yet to have a first down, knock on wood. They've yet to have a first down. Formica, that'll work. Wood byproduct. So far, the defensive strategy has been solid. They are swarming to the football. They are limiting any kind of second-level play. They had that one bust, but the quarterback threw to Horton a little bit too long.
Right.
But other than that, the defense has been.
So Trace Evans here hands the ball off on a little jet sweep.
Number 23, Dakari Charlton.
And the Antlers were all over that.
Whatever tendencies the Bulldogs were showing, I think the Antlers are all over it. Defensive, well, Coach Stanley calls the defense, I believe. And
he's got them dialed in.
He's got them dialed in. That's exactly right. They haven't been fooled. I haven't seen them fooled on one play.
So Trace Evans in the backfield. And Mason Williams is back there with him right now.
And we have offsides. Our guys lined up in the neutral zone, it looked like. And
so it's going to be 5 yards against the Antlers there. You would think that lining up initially, I get sometimes you're going to jump on a hard count, but
that's always, yeah. It might have been the guy out there in space with nobody in front of him. Pass to Charlton goes incomplete. Hit him in the wrong place, hit him in the hands. Just dropped it.
That was that ball was on the money. That was a good route. That was a good play by the Bulldogs there. They had a receiver open with a little bit of running room. I don't know that he would have gone far, but it would have been some positive
yardage. It would have been a positive play for the Bulldogs. They haven't had any of that so far. J.J. Ruff checks into the game for number 34, Zach Apia. Put a little bit more speed on
Dalton Dorwart is in the backfield with Williams and Trace Evans. And Trace on a quarterback keeper, and he's going to be close.
He's going to be close. If they're going to put that foot on that white line, he's not going to be.
He just needs to get past the 30, get the nose on the football to the 30, and it looks like he does.
Boy, that's close.
So
they're going to call it.
They're going to call it first down 10. So that's an 8-yard gain on the play. And
I was Coach Dan, they'd be saying, I'd like to see that measured. But they've already waved the chains forward. That was awful close to just.
I think it just comes down to, since they started on the 20, they needed to get to the 30.
That is correct. And it was on the tip of the football was on the white line.
So this is Nate Williams in the backfield with Evans. Trace Evans looking deep for Horton, I believe.
Oh, nice play by number 17.
That was Cole Emons. Cole Emons was the intended receiver for the Bulldogs. There's a flag on the play.
Oh, no. Wow. Mason Martin played that about as well as you could play a ball. He turned his head at the right moment and deflected the football.
Against the Antlers.
Ooh, okay. Either he made contact before.
Maybe something happened before that we saw following the ball.
He must have made some contact when his back was still turned to the football, because when he turned, he played that just about as well as you could and tipped the ball away when the ball arrived.
So from the 45-yard line.
So this is the first positive.
Right. Nate Williams takes the ball and is met in the backfield by a wall of Antlers.
Wow.
I mean, they are all over the run game of the Bulldogs.
Like I said earlier, Scott, they are swarming to the football. I mean, they are. There's not just one guy there. There's 2 and 3 and 4 guys to meet the football.
And there was a blue wave on that play. So about a minute and a half left here, a minute and 23 seconds in the first quarter. Second down, 11 yards to go. The Bulldogs are rotating the 2 Williams kids in the backfield. This time is Mason. Trace Evans takes the ball, gives to Mason, who got to the corner.
But look at it, 4 or 5 guys there. It's just, they are just reading everything.
There's a flag on the play, and the running backs, these Williams boys for the Bulldogs are some big, stout-looking kids.
Yeah, big kids, hard to bring down. If this is on the Antlers, this will be the 3rd penalty. Okay, this is on the Bulldogs, holding.
So Mason Williams, number 20, he's 5'9", 210. Nate Williams, 6 foot 190. So both of those guys are.
They're loads.
They're
big,
a load.
Big, strong kids.
So the penalty here will back the Bulldogs up to the 34-yard line, 35-yard line. It's going to make it second down and almost a country mile.
Yeah, that's a nice counterbalance to the 2 penalties that cost us a first down or 2.
20 yards to go.
Number 1 again, nowhere to go.
So that's Nate Williams.
I'll tell you, Scott, that's assignment football, because, second in a mile, you're thinking pass, right?
Right.
But there were 4 blue shirts meeting Nate Williams in the backfield, clearly making their reads and staying sound defensively so that they're not fooled. They're not thinking pass. They're playing their assignment. Great
sometimes
coaching.
It's hard to do that as a teenager. You just, you want to chase the ball or chase the squirrel or chase whatever. But once you can get some of those principles instilled, like this is your assignment, just stick to it.
Well, they're doing it tonight.
So here we go. Trace Evans drops back to throw. He set up a screen, and that ball went right through the hands of Nate Williams and falls incomplete. So the Bulldogs will face 4th down and about 22 yards to go. They're going to have to punt it.
Elijah Allen will go deep.
Jamie Buckley comes on to punt it.
4 possessions, 4 punts, Scott, and I think just 1 or maybe 2 first downs. Both of them came by penalty, I believe. No, they got the first one legit.
Yeah, they did.
The second one they got by penalty. So the defense is just playing lights out.
They are on the money, and their coaches have got them looking exactly where they need to look and doing exactly what they need to do.
Well, the key right here, Scott, is that somewhere along in this game, maybe in this half, maybe in the second half, there's going to be some adversity. Now, the last 2 weeks, the adversity is kind of eating them up a little bit.
Right.
Let's see how they handle it tonight, if that ever comes. Right now, they're owning the momentum and owning the score as well.
They are in control. So this will probably be the final play of the first quarter. Here comes the punt. And it's going to land around the 45-yard line. We'll see where they down it. the 40,
Another 20-yard
46-yard line.
Another 20-yard puts us in business just a shade on our side of the field.
So that's the end of the first quarter with your Deer Creek Antlers 13 and the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs 0.
That's the end of the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. First one score, Deer Creek 13, Edmond Memorial 0. Ladies and gentlemen, number 10 pitcher blew out here at the east side of the stadium.
We're back here in the second quarter, both teams huddling around their head coaches. The story of the first quarter has been number 12, Axel Welch, the senior, who has doubled his receiving in one quarter. He has been thrown to 5 times. He's caught 3 of them. He had one for 50 yards that took him down into the red zone, and they got 3 points out of that, Scott.
Right.
And he scored the touchdown on the previous possession. So.
And Deer Creek made a quarterback change this week with Huska in the backfield, and he's been the one feeding Welch.
Jarrett Burright is still playing. He's just now at wide receiver now.
And they targeted him on the first pass play of the game. So from the 46-yard line, your Deer Creek Antlers have great field position. So Diaz is still in the backfield, and we're looking on a wheel route for him, and we got him, and I don't think anybody's going to catch him.
He could go, Scott.
There it is, touchdown Antlers.
54-yard touchdown.
No flags on the play.
Superman.
And that was a great wheel route by Diaz as he just.
Let's watch this on replay. Great job, number 10.
So here we go with Logan Ward. He's been busy tonight, which is a good thing.
Yeah, he's been busy. Diaz is the leading receiver for the Antlers. He's had 6 catches for 120 yards in the first 2 games. Well, he just put 54 more on that total and a touchdown. And the Antlers are owning the Bulldogs right now.
So 11 minutes, 50 seconds left in the second quarter. It just started. And your Deer Creek Antlers sitting on 20 points, and the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs 0.
I think the Bulldogs might be a little shell-shocked right now because, you know, you come over to little brother across the way, and, you know, there's an expectation there. Edmond's been around largest class football probably for more years than we care to think that we know. But, you know, Deer Creek's coming in here and there. They are acting like they're the team that is not 0-2, but 2-0.
Yeah, Deer Creek is relatively new to the Class 6A classification, where Memorial has been there. They've always been one of the top classified schools. When it was 5A, that was where Memorial was, and when it was 6A, that's where they were. So, you know, Deer Creek is new to that game because they've just grown so much over the past decade.
And that's why this is a budding rivalry. I mean, I'm sure it's going to get more and more intense as the years pass because Edmond schools are in what's called Edlum. Here's that little pooch kick. Great tackle. Great tackle by number 41.
So Peyton Medeiros on the return.
You got one of your best defenders on kickoff team. That means that kid loves special teams. That was Parker Johnson just drilling number 17, Peyton Medeiros.
So Medeiros gets the ball out to the 34-yard line.
Now, like I said, I mean, the 3 Edmond schools have what's called Edlum when they play each other. They play, and now, you know, Deer Creek has kind of emerged into that Edmond school rivalry, and I'm sure there's going to be a way that they're going to try to work out where they're playing all 3 Edmond schools as well, not just one.
I think it'd be great.
It would be great for community spirit. Yeah,
oh, yeah,
absolutely.
all the way across the board. So we got the little Williams, Nate Williams in the backfield with Trace Evans.
Little at 190.
Little at 190.
That shows you how big the other one is.
So Trace Evans looks.
Oh, almost a
goodness.
pick by Elijah Allen.
So Evans' pass is he's looking for Jacob Gibbons on that. He's hit his receivers in the hands a couple times tonight.
This has not been a
And he overthrew
Trace Evans problem. He has thrown the ball, other than the one pass to Horton that was just a little bit too long.
And it was just a little bit.
Yeah, he's hit these guys in stride, in the hands, and they just dropped them.
So Nate Williams stays in the backfield. Trace Evans looking everything over, takes the snap.
A little hide route.
All right, he's looking for a deep ball. And just overthrows his receiver over there.
Number 8,
Cole Emmons.
Cole Emmons, yeah.
Now Cole was well covered on the play and
Yeah.
it created just a little bit of separation towards the end, but Evans had too much oomph on that one.
It was called a search route. They throw you on 3 different levels, and if they can catch you napping trying to cover the underneath routes, you can get that over the top. But we had it well covered all 3 levels, which means they've had a great week of practice because these kids know what they're doing.
Right.
There's no mistakes being made out there.
They've been really sharp. So Nate Williams stays in the backfield. Memorial has been rotating those backs frequently. They don't on this particular series of plays. It's going to be 3rd down, 10 yards to go. And again, Trace Evans
Found a little
completes
hook
his
route there
pass
on the.
to Cole Emmons again. So this time Cole makes the catch. We got a late flag on the play.
It's like number 23. Jacob Johnson had a little bit too much.
The play itself was good for a 1st down, so we'll see
Yeah.
how this sorts itself out. But again, Trace Evans was right on the money, and his receiver helped him out this time and made the play it needed to be made.
Yeah, he ran about a 10-yard curl route, and the ball was right there. Timing was perfect.
So the penalty is going to go against the
A
Antlers.
dead ball. Yeah, personal,
unsportsmanlike.
unsportsmanlike.
So that'll move the ball after the catch.
That's just a huge play.
It's
That's a
gonna move the ball.
25-yard play.
It's big. So that's going to move the ball to the 38-yard line.
Actually, a little bit more than 25 because they got more than 10 yards on the catch.
So the last time this happened, the Antlers were able to force the Bulldogs back. Trace Evans again looking deep. He's got a receiver with a step.
There he was.
And that's a touchdown.
Dakari Charlton, number 23.
And Trace Evans dropped that right into Dakari's breadbasket.
He finally hit that deep route. He missed earlier in the first quarter and just a few moments ago. And then I think Dakari is one of the kids on that track team that is constantly winning state championships. That kid,
I don't know.
He can run.
Those kids over there that run track at Memorial, I don't know what they eat or drink.
They
But
are all
it's some
fast.
serious go juice.
Absolutely. He created the separation, and there was just no closing in on it. Looks like
So
Edmond is going to call a timeout on
Jamie
us.
Spookley was on the field to do a field goal, but I don't know. They had sort of a unique field goal setup going.
Well, they had a guy come on late, Scott, so I think that they didn't have time to do all their little shifts and everything, so rather than get a penalty, they called a timeout.
That was a very important touchdown for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, stem the tide. They had to do something because Deer Creek's defense has been chewing up the running game.
Right.
If you noticed, all 3 of their big plays on that, or 2 of their big plays, was on the pass. They had 1 dropped pass, 1 overthrow, and then they hit 2 big ones to get to 6 points.
And even that first pass to Emmons was completed was only about 12 yards or so. So it wasn't like it was a big
Right.
dagger.
But
that one
tack
right
on
there,
that penalty,
Yeah,
it
the
turned it into.
penalty hurt, and then Trace Evans just dropped it right into Dakari Charlton's hands. He never had to break stride.
Never did.
So Jamie Booчлey set to put this one through. Bookley, I'm not quite sure. And
Maybe
he puts it in
Bouchel?
there.
Nope, that's a Buklai or Buk. Sorry, Mom and Dad, if you're listening. We're trying.
So 11 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the second quarter. And we got a score of Deer Creek Antlers 20 the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs 7. So we've had 2 touchdowns in the first 40 seconds of the second quarter.
That's right. You know, 4 possessions, 4 scores for the Antlers. That's got to make the offense feel good, feel like they've got rhythm and that they can move the football
right
when they need to. So they need to. I'm sure they're hoping they can answer and keep the Bulldogs on their heels, and not give them any more momentum.
It'd be great to put together a sort of a clock grinding drive right here, because the Antlers will get the football to start the second half. So if they could put together some sort of clock grinding up, using up drive when they can take away 5 or 6 minutes.
You know, if you can put together a 6, 7, 8 minute drive, you're really what you're doing is you're taking a possession away from the other team.
Right.
So it's an unusual kickoff formation.
So here we go with sort of a deep pooch kick, and it's going to be a fair catch.
Well done. Well done. That's Mason Williams, number 20, Zane Shades. Is that number 20?
28.
Or 20.
29.
That's Dylan Beers. Yeah, that's the guy you want catching the ball. One of your
29.
Your senior leaders out there. He knew exactly what to do. Fair catch, then hit your knees. Smart kid.
We've
well
seen
coached.
some weird things happen on kickoffs this season already on that little deep pooch kick. So here we go. First down, 10 yards to go for the Antlers.
Trips into the boundary. Give it to Davis.
So here comes Davis, and he squirts through there. Picks up a couple yards, it looks like. Gets out to the 30, the 35-yard line, 36-yard line. So gain of 3 on the play.
We're going to put Big Axel out there to the far left. Trips to the
keep your eye
to the
on
left
him.
side. And a quick pass to number 15.
Huska looking on a scramble and throws the ball away. It's a good choice there.
And they're going to throw a flag on that.
So now we've seen that. We saw this in week 1 where we had some interesting
interpretation of what intentional grounding is.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what the call is here.
I can't see how he thinks that's intentional grounding when there was a receiver in the area.
And the umpire threw it right away.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't hesitate. And if you throw it out of bounds and you're outside the pocket, that's supposed to be okay as well.
So maybe that's something where there was a rule change that we're not aware
of it. But that's huge.
So the referee's
trying to say the guy's going one way and your quarterback threw it way behind him, looking at the body language.
But Huska was outside the tackle box. Of that, I don't think there's a question. So now it's just a question of how do you interpret intentional grounding?
Well, and again, I'm just going on what I see on Saturdays, I guess,
right.
And maybe Sundays as
and
well.
I think there's a lot of rules that match that way.
But when you're outside the tackle box, you can throw it into the 4th row and it not be intentional grounding.
So quite a discussion going over here.
Coach Stanley's getting his money's worth, that's for sure.
So still conversating with the referees on this call, which would make it would be a loss of down, so it would make it 3rd down and about 7.
It's a really long conversation. I mean, apparently Coach Stanley is – I don't agree with that call. I know I'm not supposed to be – that's not a good call. And it's also a loss of down, so that's a huge, huge call by the white hat there. And that's this, like I said, last week we had 2 intentional grounding, or actually there was 3.
Southmore game.
It was Southmore game, yeah, and 2 of them went against Southmore, and both of us were wondering how can that be intentional grounding, and then we do the same thing, and it was no call.
Right in that one game, and we kind of wondered when we had done the same thing if there was going to be a penalty, but. So the penalty will move the ball back to the 25-yard line.
Puts us at 3rd down.
So it's going to be 3rd down and about 17.
Wow.
So we'll see what they can dial up here. Huska drops back to pass. He's got
Welch again.
Welch took a shot but made the play.
Hung on.
So they get the ball up, the pass play gets the ball up to the 31-yard line, but not anywhere near good enough. And so Logan Ward is going to be called on for punting duty tonight for the first time.
That's right.
So looks like it's going to be Nate Williams that is deep for the Bulldogs here.
Get a roll out of that one.
We'll get a good,
There you go. Come on, ball. Roll,
good
roll,
favorable
roll,
bounce.
roll.
It was that Australian soccer style kick. And,
About a 47-yard kick there, Scott.
down at the 24-yard line, so that's a good punt for the Antlers.
Flip the field. That's a great job.
Yeah, that's good. So now back up to the defense here. Gave up a touchdown on a couple of big plays last time out and had the one penalty that really hurt them.
The unsportsmanlike penalty is kind of trickles down into the high school levels, and you hate to see that.
So Trace Evans again to the air, finds Emons. That's good for a gain up to the 37-yard line.
Now they've thrown how many passes over there? They've thrown at least 4 or 5 passes to their right side. They're going after Elijah Allen.
And they've looked for Emons several times tonight. I think there's only been a couple times where they haven't targeted him.
That's true.
So Nate Williams is in the backfield with Trace Evans.
They've pretty much given up on the run from last drive to this drive.
Yeah,
They're
we have
looking more
not-
towards the air.
We've not seen Mason Williams in a couple of minutes. That's
Okay.
should be an incomplete pass.
Oh, now he gives the call.
Okay.
No, is he having to process that a little bit, I guess. Was that a drop or not? I sure wish it would have been a catch and a fumble, because
That'd have been great. Deer Creek was all over it. So that's going to be second down. 10 yards to go for the Bulldogs.
now we're providing a really big cushion over there to the right side. I mean, they're just throwing a little quick out route. They just dropped the ball that time, but we're giving up about 10 yards.
So let's see. They're looking
They're
for
gonna
it
do
again.
it again. This
So
time the linebacker dropped into the.
Trace Evans under pressure now and fires the ball up the field. He had a receiver in the area, so falls incomplete. So that's going to be third down.
They tried that same route again, but the linebacker dropped into the passing lanes like he should. Again, another sign of a great game plan and disciplined defensive players playing assignment football. So
That pass was intended for Cole Emmons again. So they're really looking for him over there.
you see the corners are almost 10 yards off the receivers. They're going to give up the 5 yards. That's what that seems to be
So
the.
here comes again Trace Evans. And
Going
this time
deep.
he was looking for Jacob Givens. And that falls incomplete, just overthrown.
So he's 1 for 4 on the deep ball.
That one
And
deep
that
ball.
one was pretty good touchdown. But
It was right on the money. So defense does its job, but Memorial didn't help them out too much right there. They had 3 passes, 3 incompletes. There was no running game at all for that series for the Bulldogs. They left Nate Williams in and left off the big guy, Mason Williams.
they're trying to attack that underneath route because the corners are so far off. It worked the first couple of times. Now linebackers are beginning to drop because they're realizing, hey, they're not running the football.
So Jamie Buckley into punt. He has not had good punts tonight. This one's not too bad.
Fair caught by Elijah Allen.
It's a fair catch at the 30-yard line.
So we had 2 touchdowns in the first 40 seconds of the second quarter. This will be the second possession for the Antlers. Third possession, I'm
Third
sorry.
possession.
Yeah.
They got that fast TD.
Yeah.
In the first one, the fast touchdown. So the ball's about right in between the 30 and 31-yard line here. First down and 10 yards to go. It was 4 and out last time.
And a controversial intentional grounding
Yeah, an unusual.
kind of stalled us out.
So Huska
There goes
to
Davis.
Lamorris. We got a flag on the play.
That's
thrown
a holding.
Thrown in the area of a hold.
Wow.
So Lamorris had a good run there. It's going to come back, I imagine.
So our referee has made 3 pretty big calls against us. 2 holdings and an intentional grounding. But that one, at least he threw that one right at the runner. So that means that was holding at the point of attack, not
Right.
behind him like he called the first one.
Right.
That drives coaches crazy when officials call something that's 10 yards away from the play, has no bearing on the play.
But is a violation
But
of the rule.
It's still a violation, but if you call a violation on every play, you're going to have a penalty on every play, I
you're gonna
promise you.
Right. So that'll put the ball on the 19-yard line where it will be 1st and long for the Antlers. Now they've gotten out of a couple of series where they've been behind the chains. So we'll see if they can't do the same thing here.
Sure hope so. I mean, this is not, when an offense is in its rhythm like it's been in the first quarter and first play of the second quarter, you hate that they have to make up so much yardage because of mistakes. And
So
go deep
Huska,
again.
He's got
One
a
for
receiver.
Jarrett. Oh, Jarrett never saw the ball. He
So-
was open.
So if Burright could just maybe just check back just a little quicker, he had a step on his defensive back and would have been off to the races.
Scott, it looked like that we were throwing from Huska to his back shoulder, and Jarrett looked like he was looking to the inside. So, you look at inside and the ball's behind your helmet, you're not going to see it.
Right.
And that's what it looked like with Jarrett, that he couldn't quite see. They never saw the football to make an adjustment.
So 2nd down and long. Davis goes in motion.
There's the draw.
Huska on the draw, and he's got some blocks, and he's out to about the 25-yard line. So it's a good gain on the play.
About 5 yards. That's a good job.
So a gain of 6 yards on the play. It's going to bring it up to 3rd, and still a long ways to go. About 16 yards.
3rd down and 16 for the Antlers. And ways to go, 25.
We haven't seen much other than the one play, Dylan Diaz.
No, he hasn't been.
Not on the offensive set, and he's not out there again. But Welch is at the tight end. See if they kind of go for him again.
So
yep,
Huska.
they're going to him. He's triple covered.
he's
Three guys around the
Huska
big
was
guy.
well covered on, or Welch was well covered on that
Yeah.
particular route. It was like the defense keyed on him.
As you get into the game, you kind of begin to understand what the coaches have been, preparing for all week. Clearly, number 12 was, 1A on their list of ways to attack Edmond.
And he did some damage in the first quarter in the beginning of this one.
Now you need to go search for your second option because
Right.
I think Edmond has made the adjustment.
They've looked for Burright a couple times.
Right. That might be their next option. Nice kick.
So Logan Ward again with a great punt. We'll see where the referee says this went out of bounds.
Probably about it's going to be.
Let's see where he walks up to. That was hard
Yeah,
to tell
40,
from right
that's
here.
right at 35 yards. 35-yard punt. So he's had 2 really nice punts the last 2 times he's kicked it.
All right.
There's got to be a little bit of it. You're 0-2. You've been ahead in the first half of both of the previous games. You played well enough to win in the first half. You just haven't been able to finish it off in the second. So understanding, that's your history. I'm sure the defense and, the whole coaching staff, I'm sure, is probably just a little bit nervous right now to keep Edmond under their thumb.
Right.
Understandably so.
And the defense has been good this half. So here this ball goes to Nate Williams. He finds a little crease in there.
It's the first time they've had any kind of positive yards.
And that was a good run from scrimmage for the Bulldogs. A gain of 8 yards on the play to the 48-yard line.
Brought down number 29, Dylan Beers.
They're calling Dylan Beers' name again. The kid's all over the field. Number 29.
So it's going to be 2nd down, 2 yards to go from the 48-yard line.
They say Dylan is 5'10", 181. I'm betting he's not 5'10". He's not, but he is a fire plug out there. He's hard to block, gets off those blocks, and he runs that ball down better than
So again,
another ISO play. And
so Trace Evans under pressure.
by guess who? Dylan Beers.
So his pass goes out of bounds. Incomplete on the scramble there. So it's going to be 3rd down and 2. And we'll see what happens with the Bulldogs. They've only really had a couple of running plays from scrimmage that have been positive. They've really they've stretched the Antler defense more when they've thrown the ball.
And watch for that quick hitter up there on the wideouts.
With Edmonds.
Edmonds up at the top. We're still playing 10 yards off of him.
So Nate Williams stays in the backfield. We got a flag on the play. We're gonna have a procedure penalty against the Bulldogs. That's gonna back them up 5 yards.
Well, Coach Stanley was, I think he's pretty happy there was a penalty because I think there was a bust on the defensive coverage. So he's about out to the numbers on the field trying to get whatever happened straight. They don't list a defensive coordinator, so I'm assuming that usually means that Coach Stanley is calling the defense.
So he's sort of double dipping duties then.
Yeah.
Head coach and defensive coach.
That's right, and I'm sure he gets a lot of help from, DJ Wolf at corners, Dusty Baker, the safeties, inside linebacker, Kyle Hay, outside linebacker, Donnie Fuston, D-line, Russell Caldwell, all those guys I'm sure give him a lot of help.
So Evans finds his receiver,
7.
which is Jacob Givens. And the gain on the play is good for a first down at 10.
I think the offensive play calling for Memorial is beginning to go more towards the air, and they're looking at the 10-yard and less routes, 10-yard outs, 5-yard hitches, 5-yard outs, hide plays, what they call hide, where the guy slips in behind the defense and finds the open area. And then they'll throw that deep ball every now and then just to keep you honest.
So Evans in the backfield. Nate Williams has been the running back here for Memorial for the past several plays, and they had alternated quite a bit early on.
Good play,
But
Mr.
he's
Beers.
been the backfield that time.
Mr. Beers.
I don't know that he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's a kid that's listed at 181. I don't know if he's actually that big. He does not look that big, but he just brought down number 1, 6 foot, 190, and threw him down like he was in a rodeo, and that was the steer. I mean,
oh my goodness.
wow. That kid can play. What a great tackle.
That was a good job. That was a good job by the Deer Creek defense.
You got to like a kid that can go in and you can trust to just bring the guy down all by himself. He doesn't need a lot of help. And Dylan Beers does that week in and week out.
So Nate Williams out and Cade Adams in as the running back. Doesn't matter. Trace Evans finds who else? Emmons on the far side of the field. It's good for a first down. Bulldogs.
It's no surprise. I'm still preaching on Beers, but he's the leading tackler for the Antlers at 24 in 2 games. That's a healthy 12 tackles per game. That's pretty good for.
It's about a 11-yard gain there.
Yep, 1st and 10. Edmond has found a groove, that's for sure.
Right. Nate Williams back into the backfield, but doesn't matter. Again, doesn't matter. And Trace Evans' pass intended for Mr. Jacob Givens falls incomplete.
It's another ball that hit the receiver.
Givens has dropped a couple of those.
They've had some drop passes for Mr. Evans tonight, so his average may not look too great, but he's throwing the ball well.
Right. He's definitely given his receivers balls that they can catch. And right now he is in the zone with Emmons. So Williams back in. He's got the ball, and he is met at the line of scrimmage
Number
again.
54.
There is no run game
Reed
tonight
Eden.
for the Bulldogs. No run game.
Big Reed Eden, 6'2", 213. Popped him right as he got the football. Basically no gain, right?
That's what I got. So that's going to make it a 3rd down and 10 yards to go.
Now watch for the short 5 to 10 yard route here. See if they can get what they call, I'm going to sound like John Gruden here, but yaks.
Get some
They're going to try to get
yaks.
some yaks, yards after catch. And if they can catch the ball in that area and then get the rest of the yards on with their legs.
Keep your eye on Emmons. He's at the top of the screen, but
There's
they run
the
away
out route,
from him.
Number 11.
Oh, and we got tip balls
a tip
everywhere.
ball right there, 23. Jacob Johnson tipped the ball and almost tipped it into the old tip drill. You remember doing that?
I did the tip
back,
drill a time or two.
Oh, yeah. Tip the ball and then go get it.
So that's going to make it 4th down for the Bulldogs. And they are in that fuzzy gray area of field goal, punt, or go for it. And the offense looks like they're going to stay on the field.
You know, you haven't stopped the Antlers, you know, without the help of penalties all night. I would kick this one deep and see if, I mean, even back to the 20-yard line. If you give the Antlers the football here in the 30-something yard line, you're giving them pretty good field position.
Right. So here we go. Trace Evans drops back for the pass. He's getting flushed out of the pocket.
There's no one
He's
open.
going to have to run it, and I believe he's out of bounds.
Oh, no.
We're going to have a late hit out of bounds. Several flags come in. So Trace Evans is forced out of bounds before he gets to that first down marker, but it looked like he was hit late. So that's going to be a penalty against the Antlers. And that's one you want to have back. We'll see what the official call is. So we got some discussion going on, and one of the referees is talking with the coaching staff here on the Deer Creek sideline. And one of the coaches is talking to the Edmond Memorial coaching staff. So the official call is
Okay.
must have been offsetting penalties, maybe? 'Cause
It looks that way.
he called a penalty on
But then he turned around and said,
First-
Deer Creek football.
So he didn't wave off with a flag and say no call on the play. There's still a penalty marker out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
The only, you know, I'm not sure.
So I'm a little confused of.
Either it was offsetting, which would, but that would keep the ball where it is. They're not marking any yards off.
Right. So
And
maybe
Luke doesn't. Luke
wait, no,
Orvis
hold on,
doesn't
here
look
we
like
go.
he's arguing. Okay, we are
So we're-
marking it off.
so he goes out of bounds. The play is dead.
Post possession penalty.
So that's got to be what it is then.
post possession penalty. He was out of bounds. Play was over.
And then a late
Or
hit.
post play penalty, more like. And so that occurs, and
So
so
there's a dead ball.
it's dead ball.
It's a dead ball foul, and the dead
That's-
ball ended.
That still sounds
The
hinky
fourth
to me.
down.
It still sounds, you know,
So the penalty will go against the Antlers, but it's 1st and 10.
back on the 13-yard line. They're backed up a little bit.
They are backed up.
Let's see if we can't get out of the hole here and not have a mistake to put us in that hole. There's a stretch play to Diaz.
So Diaz has got the carry. He found a
Wow.
little seam there.
Wow.
And he almost turned the corner. You
I
know,
tell you
it
what,
is.
did
It's
he
thunder
not
and
look?
lightning.
Yeah, he looked hemmed in.
He did. I don't know how these running backs can find these lanes sometimes. And you even watch on Saturday and Sunday where a running back disappears in a crowd and comes out for like
Out on
10
the other
yards.
side.
And just how do they do it? So the run on the play is up to the 24-yard line. It's good for 1st down and 10 Antlers. They've got 5 minutes, 6 seconds left to work with here in the second quarter. It'd be great to go in with some sort of points here. So Diaz stays in the backfield.
Okay, we're going to have a timeout, it looks like.
Deer Creek will take a timeout. And I think that's their first timeout of the half. So 5 minutes, 6 seconds left in the second quarter. Deer Creek with the ball. They've looked sharp at the start of this series. Diaz taking a 11-yard gain in something that didn't look like he shouldn't have had anything at all because he just ran into a pile and found a lane in there.
Found a lane, and then he, you know, put a couple of moves out there and just ran downhill. Good pickup.
And it is deceptive. You get used to how Lamorris runs.
Yeah,
And then when he leaves and then Diaz comes on, then it's just a different style of running, and that can throw your timing off a little bit. You know, when you're used to a play happening a certain way.
That's right. So Davis remains on the sideline. Diaz back there with Huska
And Burright is at the top of your screen.
on the same side as Welch.
So here we go, ball to Diaz. He again found a little crease in there, and he's out to about the 32-yard line.
Nice run. Wow, 8 or 9 yards.
So they're going to give him up to the 33. In between, right there at the 33-yard line. It's a good run. That's a 9-yard gain on the play. So second down, 1 to go. That's manageable. Got the whole playbook in your hand right now. It'd be great right here if we could finish something off.
Yeah, nice long drive
Nice
to
long
eat up the
drive.
rest of the clock.
Right. Get down inside the red zone, get some points out of the thing.
Even a field goal would be good because that
Right.
would put us a good, healthy 16
Diaz
points.
in, timeout, Bulldogs. So I believe that's their second timeout of the half.
I believe you're right, sir.
So it's going to be second down and 1 yard to go. Diaz has been the running back on this particular series. He has managed to find holes on the 2 plays that have been called for him. And he's put the Antlers in great position here to get another first down and sort of grind out the second quarter. There's 4 minutes, 21 seconds left to go. And if we can just slow march it, it's going to be good news for the Antlers.
Absolutely, and this has been the story of the first 2 weeks. An offense that looks like they have pretty good control. Now tonight they look like they have great control. They're a lot better tonight than they were the first 2 weeks, but still the pattern is we're grinding out drives, and like you said, we want to get this one finished off. We want to make touchdowns at the end of these good drives, not just a field goal or just burning some time. So
we'll see what happens. This is been a good game for the Antlers so far. They really have played pretty sharp the whole time. They've given up one big play. The defense, though, if you take away one play, they've been outstanding. The offense has been able to put together some drives, and they've been fantastic. And here comes
get out of bounds,
Diaz
Kiddo.
again.
See, there's as a former coach, I know the coaching staff is like, they have to have him on defense. I mean, that is a no-brainer. He has to play defense, but he's good enough to get offensive reps. So they don't want him to get burned up on offense where he's not sharp on defense.
Right.
That's the beauty of having, Davis in there as well, who's a quality running back, as good or as Diaz is any day of the week. They're different styles running. So now Davis is back in the game.
Davis on, Diaz off.
And that's good handling of your personnel by Coach Stanley.
Want everybody fresh, as fresh as possible.
They're cut back lane. There you go,
Here
kid. There you go. Look, fresh legs, and he may
Here
go.
comes Lamorris. He's got one player to beat. Oh, he got hemmed in and lost the football out of bounds.
Great
So
play.
another great run by the Antlers, and Lamorris was on it. I thought he was going to pop that one all the way into the end zone.
33-yard run, Scott. And he did a simple cutback right there. Got to the sideline, and then 3 Bulldogs finally hemmed him in after 33 yards.
Good run. And again, it's that changeup. You have a changeup between Diaz and Davis.
Diaz is more direct, and
just run different.
Davis is more run laterally side to side and then finds his gap and gets upfield. And then he's so fast, it's awful hard to run him down. Yeah, Beers in the game now, running at the slot over on the left side, going in motion now. That's the defensive stud, Dylan Beers.
So Huska to Lamorris.
Wow.
Who just is
great play.
Right up the guts. And I mean, he's close to a 10-yard carry right there, and he took all kinds of players with him to finish that one off.
Again, you're okay. We're another penalty by the. Wow.
So the referee saw something he didn't like. It's about a 9-yard gain.
He was talking to one of our kids.
So the ball right now rests at the.
It's like right at the first down marker.
13-yard line.
Almost the
so
first
we'll have
down.
to see how this penalty shakes out.
It's going to be a dead ball, post-play possession.
So after the play, another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Deer Creek. So that's the third one of those.
That's the third one against the Antlers tonight. And it erased a really good play. And I tell you what, you know, Dylan Beers was in there playing offense, and he wiped out the guy he was blocking. So again, he's one of those players you cannot do without on defense, and he may spot play on offense, but man, he's got value on offense as well.
So the penalty will put the ball at the 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 15. So here goes Davis, but this time he does not break free. Looks like he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Stop made by number 31, Carson Mullins.
So we probably need touchdown would be great, but if we can pick up about 7 more yards, I think.
Well, I think
Logan can get us a field goal.
If he's in his own stadium, I think he'll feel a lot better. I mean, he's not dealing with the wind like we had the first week, or the rain, or the wet ball, or wet field that we had in the last week. This is pretty much a perfect night. No wind. Get him close.
So here Huska's dropping back. He's getting flushed. How did he get out of that? And he's
nice play.
Little
Nice
slide under. And
now that will be right at a 40-yard field goal.
So we got to stop and play.
Is there a penalty?
I don't
know. I'm not seeing a flag.
The referee said to stop the clock. Well, Huska's gain is up to the 33-yard line, so it's about a 5-yard gain on the play. Okay, here they go. They're winding the clock. It's going to be 4th down, about 11 yards to go. And it looks like Deer Creek is going to go for it here. So Burride is going to be at the top of your screen.
Along with Axel.
And there goes Axel. And we got Lamorris Davis in the backfield with Huska.
Watch for motion from Lamorris out of the backfield to try to draw.
And now we're going to have a timeout. Timeout for the Antlers. So the Antlers take a timeout with 2 minutes, 26 seconds left. A big 4th down 11 coming up right here, Rick.
Yep, offensive coordinator Jason Paul probably called that one from upstairs. I'm sure they're going to try to manipulate the 2 best receivers we have on the left side with Burright and Welch, and then also put Davis in the mix and try to confuse the Bulldogs secondary and linebackers. You know, a 12-yard play, 11-yard play, that's not foreign to this kind of offense. They've got some things that they can dial up.
They've done it tonight for sure with a couple of big plays, and they've done it both on the run game and the passing game. They haven't had to just stick with one particular way of doing it.
That is correct, sir. But there's going to be something here that Coach Paul has worked on this week that will be it's kind of like when you're in basketball, there's that go-to play. When you need 2 points, you go to your go-to play. And there's probably a play or two that Coach Paul has either shown already or hasn't shown. If he's shown it already, he already knows whether or not it was successful. But
you know what would work here, and I don't know if Lamorris is as good a receiver as Dylan Diaz, but that little wheel route that Dylan Diaz scored the touchdown on, that could work right here.
Depends on who he gets matched. Looks like they're going to put a secondary guy, a safety on him. There he is on the flare.
Oh, all right. So we were half correct there. Huska's pass goes for Davis, falls incomplete. It'll be a turnover on downs.
He was running just a little bit before he had the ball, and he's disgusted with himself.
That was definitely something he could have caught. It hit him in the hands. I don't know if he would have had to make a player miss to get to that 1st down marker, but
my money's on him in the open field.
It was a good call. It was a good call.
It was a good call,
there.
exactly.
So it's going to be turnover on downs. It's going to go to the Bulldogs here with 2 minutes, 22 seconds left in the 2nd quarter.
Not a lot of time for Edmond to grind out those short routes. So
nope, and Edmond threw the ball a lot their last 2 possessions, so we'll have to see. It's Little Williams in the backfield, number 1, and that's going to be Nate.
It's the quick out route.
But Trace
again.
Evans looking for Emmons, his
first bad pass of the night. I mean, as far as just really being off target, not overthrowing, but off target.
So Emmons has definitely been Trace Evans' favorite target this evening. He's been targeted several times tonight. So 2nd down.
Again, do it
going
again.
To the air.
Same pass.
Emmons makes the catch. It's knocked out of bounds.
Went back to the exact same play. This time he put it just a little bit better so that at least Edmonds could get his hands on it. And he made the catch, gets about 5 yards, 3rd and 5.
Mason Martin defending on that.
And, you know, secondaries, they're going to be willing to give up 5 yards with just 2 minutes left to go.
Edmonds did step out of bounds, which stops the clock, but it's 3rd down.
There it is again, same exact play.
Same exact play. He's going to be close. So Edmonds makes the catch again. He's knocked out of bounds by Mason Martin again, and the gain on the play is good for 1st down 10 Bulldogs. And they did that earlier where Memorial was throwing that same out route or that slant route. They'll run the same play 2 or 3 times in a row until Deer Creek makes an adjustment.
But they've got a secondary up there, you know, secondary option there. It's probably going to be somebody deep. Watch for the out route and then to go deep.
So here, Trace throws one up.
Okay, what's the difference?
And
He just
don't
threw it
know.
out of bounds, but he wasn't outside the box either.
there was a receiver in the area.
Yeah. I
I
know.
think
I
this,
mean, no, I don't know. I'm like, hey, he threw it behind him, out of bounds. That's exactly what happened a moment ago. And see, I don't see anything wrong with that play, and I don't see anything wrong with our play.
Right.
I'm not saying there should have been a flag there, but I don't see anything wrong with.
Like what the difference between the 2 plays is.
Yeah, and neither one of them were intentional grounding. It was by rule. I didn't think it was, but that's why I'm up here and not wearing a white hat down there.
Good thing. So that's Cade Adams in the backfield, taking the place of Nate Williams.
They're trying to work the ball down the field on these out routes. They missed those 2. Now they're facing 3rd down and 10. Look for maybe that 10-yard hook route, you know, just go 10 yards, turn around.
Well, Edmonds has found room to work in that 10-yard range,
Yeah.
and Dakari Charlton is very quick, and so he's found room to work long range. So it just depends on.
They got Charlton isolated over on the left side.
Trace runs the other way from him and finds Edmonds. Depends on if the ball hit turf first, and they say it's a catch.
That was a 15-yard comeback route where
We got a flag on the play at the 30-yard line.
going to be holding.
It's going to be holding. So good play for the Bulldogs is nullified by the holding call.
Well, that was a good call, you know, by the Bulldogs there. I mean, they've been running out. Now what that play does is it looks like you're going deep. Looks like you're running a go route. You're going to try to beat the guy. Then you shut it down at about 15 and come back to the quarterback. It's awful hard to cover. And you saw the quarterback
that ball was right there.
right where it needs to be, low, and you go down and you get it, you know, right there just above the turf. That's a great route and a good throw. It's too bad. Not too bad, but
it is too
tough
bad.
luck.
Tough luck.
Tough luck for the Bulldogs that they were holding on that play. So 3rd down and forever now.
3rd down and quite a ways to go here. Ball's on the 20-yard line. So we'll see what the Bulldogs dial up.
We've got a timeout left. I'd be surprised if Edmond threw the ball here. Yeah, there's
so a little comeback play with Cade Adams. And there is just the run game tonight for the Bulldogs is just basically non-existent.
And again, Scott, who's there? Parker Johnson and Dylan Beers. These guys are everywhere. It's like they're cloned out there. Both of them. They play on opposite sides.
So it's a 5-yard loss. I'd be curious to know. We have very unofficial stats.
Right.
But I'd be curious to know if the Bulldogs have positive rush yardage tonight.
I would doubt it seriously.
It's very close.
It would be close. I think they'd be closer to the 0, no yards gained to negative yards. I can't imagine that they have positive yards.
So Jamie Buckley is in to punt.
They're doing a good job. They're going to run the clock down to less than a minute before they snap it.
And he struggled a time or two with some of his punts tonight. This one is
a little better.
Is going to be a good one.
Oh,
and it's going to take an almost favorable bounce.
See, right there, Elijah needs to catch that football.
Right, so it doesn't go any further. But it basically is down where he was.
Bounce. Yeah, it gave us a good bounce. And we're in business with 47 seconds left.
Ball on the right side of the 50.
And now you're looking at, what, 10, 20, about 25, 30 yards at the most to get your kicker a chance to knock in a long one.
And the Antlers have had a couple of big plays tonight themselves.
Okay,
So
Diaz is in the game. Watch him out of the backfield.
yep, Diaz in, and he's got hands. So we'll see if he gets utilized, either running or catching. Huska takes the snap. He's looking for
A
a
little
pass.
screen play. Oh,
The ball's knocked down, incomplete.
they were setting up
So,
a screen for Mr.
Diaz.
Diaz. Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard to throw that screen pass when you have those big linemen getting right in your face so quick because the offensive linemen have to
Yeah.
release those
They have
guys
to,
through.
and that's the hardest thing to convince a high school kid. Hey, it's going to be okay. You know, just they're going to come through, but you're going to throw it way before they get to
It'll
you.
all be fine.
It's going to look really scary, but it's not. And convincing a high school kid that that's the way it's supposed to be is sometimes hard. That's a good call.
So here
right
goes
there.
Lamorris
Go,
right
Lamorris,
up
go.
the middle. He's got a blocker in front of him, and
He's gonna
splits
break
the
away.
defensive backs, and he's tackled inside the 10-yard line. Great call, great run from your Antlers.
I think that may have been the best call of the night right there. Heck of a play. They took out Diaz, and they decided just to run a simple draw play. Let's look at it again here on
3 seconds, all kinds of time now. There's no need to rush. Antlers have a timeout left to use should they decide they need to have it. Diaz is back in the ball game. Davis out.
we look like we're
Diaz takes it,
there. You
and
go.
he's
Come on, big kid.
and he's inside the 5.
He fumbled.
And he fumbled it
the ball
into the end zone.
No.
And I think Memorial recovered it. So
Yeah, we'll have a touchback.
a promising drive.
Dylan he's a little wobbly getting up right now. He got stuck pretty good.
So it looked like he was trying to stretch as much as he could
Yeah,
towards that end zone.
He was also one that got dinged up last week as well.
Yeah, we need him in that defensive side
He's
of the ball.
favoring his left leg.
So we'll keep an eye on him and see what happens. So the fumble recovered in the end zone. Means it'll be Memorial's ball at the 20. They've got 22 seconds left to go, and they've had a hard time consistently moving the ball tonight, Rick.
I think Coach Orvis is probably going to just say, let's just take a knee and get into the house and talk it over.
So Nate Williams in the backfield for the Bulldogs. Trace Evans surveying the line.
It looks more like a running formation.
This
that
does
they're
look
in.
like a run formation. So Nate Williams with the ball. He makes the corner and is forced out of bounds at the 23.5-yard line, 24. So a 4-yard gain on the play. But he gets out of bounds, 16 seconds left to go. One timeout apiece for both coaches, should it need to be used.
Yeah, they probably won't use either one of those.
But you want to keep the runner in front of you. I believe that's going to be Edmonds at the top of your screen, and he's been the one that's been the busiest of the receivers.
He's out there on an island. I don't see.
So Nate Williams takes the ball, and he's met at the line by another blue wall of defenders, and that should run us into the halftime.
Yeah, that'll get us to halftime. A good first half for the Antlers.
So that's the end of the first half of play with your Deer Creek Antlers 20, the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs 7.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field for your halftime entertainment, your Deer Creek High School Antler Pride Marching Band. Tonight, the Antler Pride Marching Band will present the opening portion of our 2018 competition show, Wings of the Guardian, featuring music selections from A Mighty Fortress Is Our God, Angels in the Architecture by Frank Ticelli, and All Love Can Be by James Horner. Soloists this evening include Madeline Hager on flute, Lily Rhodes on clarinet, and Anne Shea on clarinet. And now, under the full direction of drum majors Jaden Rowland, Wayne Hinsdale, and Karen Sowerby, please welcome the one, the only, that band from Antler Land, the Antler Pride Marching Band. Wendy Pinkford and Darren Heath, with additional instruction by Ken McDuffie. Tonight's music was arranged by Carol Chambers and Dave Mark. Drill design is by Ryan Edmond. Color guard instruction and choreography is by Brandon Gibbons. The high school school band recently moved into our new band room on the north side of the map. Thanks to the collaborative efforts of school
For your Antlers, we'll see what they can put together. They pretty much had a run of the field in the first quarter. In the second quarter, they were able to make some drives, but either fizzled out or had they had the late turnover. So we'll see what happens here after the halftime adjustments have been all coached up.
Yeah, the adjustments of what Memorial is doing now, they're going to try to see if they can exploit maybe another weakness. They're 1B.
So Lamorris is in the backfield, but Huska's electing to throw it.
Nice pass.
And his pass is completed.
Number 87, Randy Childers.
So that's a good play on the first call of the half.
And Scott, that is huge because we've been getting dialed into throwing to just one or two receivers all season long.
Right.
I think that might be Childers' first catch, if not his first, maybe his second. So that's good that we're looking at other receivers now.
So Lamore stays in the backfield. Huska
Diaz
gives
is
him
in
the
the game.
ball. And
Check
don't know.
that was Axel Welch. I thought that was a 10.
I'm not sure that Lamorris Davis got back to the line of scrimmage, and if he did, it was just barely.
Mason Roberts on the tackle.
Second down, 10 yards to go for the Antlers. See what happens here. Davis in the backfield with Huska. Davis gets the ball and runs into the line of scrimmage.
Move forward.
3-yard gain.
It's like it'll be about 3rd and 6. Maybe 7.
Ball's on the 30, in between the 38 and 39-yard line. So here we go, big third down play, and
we got our left tackle rocking there, rocking backwards.
Going to have a penalty against the Antlers.
Again, that's another good sign. They threw it to number 15, Will Michael, who hasn't. I can't remember him getting a ball thrown to him the previous 2 weeks.
I don't remember that happening either.
So maybe coach is talking about an emphasis. You got other receivers out there to look at. We need to take advantage of. And they're out there for a reason. They obviously can catch the football.
They're doing something correctly.
Right, and that's the thing.
So here you go. You got Burright at the top of your screen. Huska in the backfield. Fakes it to Davis.
Nice route.
And
Underthrown.
the ball was underthrown. It was intended for Will Michael.
He ran a nice route, and if that ball was thrown, where he could catch it, that would have been a nice play. Great route by number 15, Michael.
It's going to put it at fourth down at about 10. So Logan Ward in to punt the ball. And here he comes, Memorial with a little bit of pressure. Gets off another good punt. It's going to be fielded by J.J. Ruff. He makes the fair catch at the 36-yard line. And that is where the Bulldogs will start their first series of the second half. So the defense for the Bulldogs does the job and gets the Deer Creek offense off the field. All right. First down, 10 yards to go.
Ooh, coming out 5 wide. Watch for the quarterback draw here.
Andrew Horton is now your quarterback for the Bulldogs.
He's a solid kid. Big kid. Oh, that's the fumble. Pick it up. Nope.
And
Sure look.
Horton's pass goes towards J.J. Ruff. And referees say that was just forward enough to be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I guess it was perfectly parallel to the line of scrimmage.
36. We're just off the angle from where we are to be able to see if that was a straight throw or not.
Andrew Horton has been patiently waiting ever since he's a sophomore to get his snaps at quarterback. He's a fine thrower. Good, smart kid.
So here we go on the quarterback draw. And a gain of about 4 yards on the play to the 40-yard line.
Horton's a big kid, 6'2", 200-pound quarterback, senior. And like I said, he's been waiting his turn for a while. Got that prototypical quarterback look.
Yeah, he does have that shape, doesn't he?
At 6'2", right around 200.
Now we'd seen a lot of the Williams boys in the first half for the
Well,
Bulldogs,
they're
but
going empty backfield now.
they have not had a back in the backfield. We got flags on the play. Horton's pass goes towards Jacob Givens.
It's no play. It's going to be illegal procedure. They couldn't get the receiver up top. He couldn't get set. He wasn't.
So that should move the ball back to the 35-yard line, which will be 3rd down 11 for the Bulldogs. So here come the running backs.
Yeah, they're going back to their base set, which is
Nate Williams on.
Trace Evans back
Trace
in the game.
Evans back in. Horton off.
So
that's going to probably change the play call.
Yeah, the grand experiment of 5 out. Look at, wow.
So Trace Evans.
There's that comeback route again. And they're going to say he caught it.
Say he caught it. That was towards Alex Emmons.
Does he have enough for a first down, though? That's the question.
And so I'm looking at where they've got that ball.
He hasn't waved him forward yet.
I don't know. I can't tell. They're
yeah,
saying he's
fourth
short.
Down.
And he's short by about 3, I don't know, about 1.5 feet.
Coach Orvis is rolling the dice here.
4th down, not far to go.
Oh, we stood him up. We stood him up.
So depends on where that second effort got him.
Second effort got it for him, I do believe. But we stood him up there in the first.
So Trace Evans keeps the ball.
That's a gutsy call by Coach Orvis.
Gets exactly what he needed for the first down.
You see, we stand him up here on the.
So this time Nate Evans with the carry, and he squirts through the line for about a 9-yard gain.
We got a cramp, looks like, down on the field at number 33. Ben Likes. He's trying to stretch it out. It's not a real warm evening, but
no, and he should have been gassed up at halftime. You'd think some fluids would have made its way into his body. You know, one of the things I think that some people don't quite understand is when you compete in Oklahoma, and it's a little bit humid, not as humid as other places, but you can't just start preparing for that Friday morning of game day.
Right.
That's something that you got to start doing Wednesday evening, all day Thursday,
exactly.
and all day Friday. You've got to be smart with what you put into your body.
I have a kid at the school I teach at that every day in class he's got a big jug of water. He's constantly hydrating. He plays both sides of the ball, linebacker and running back, and he knows, you know, you got to hydrate all week. It's not just hydrating, like you said, the morning of game. I mean, that's important, but he's drinking that water all the time. All right, he's nothing more painful, I think,
no,
than a cramp in your hamstring.
Sometimes those cramps can sting.
So Ben Likes is inside linebacker alongside Dylan Beers. He's going to come out, and I believe Logan Ward will take his spot.
So Likes isn't even, he's on the sideline. They are not giving him any treatment, so he's hopefully going to be okay here. Well, second down is short for the Bulldogs. Again, Nate Williams.
That's about the best positive yards, the last 2 plays that they've had the entire game on the ground. You agree?
Right, and they've run it pretty much right up the middle both times.
They're running a little trap play, it looks like, I think, you know, where one of the linemen pull and wrap up into the hole, and the running back just follows him right into the second level.
You know, and Memorial has, when they found a play that works, they'll run it 2 or 3 times in a row. And that's, you know, when they've had success, that's worked with them tonight. So there goes Williams on
It's the same play again.
almost the exact same play.
They're saying there's a fumble.
Deer Creek is acting
Saying
like
they
there's a
actually have a
fumble. The referees are coming in, and they're going to say it's second down.
They're pulling their left guard, and he's wrapping up over where the right tackle has cleared out, and they're just following him into the second level past the line of scrimmage where the linebackers are, and they've had good success with it the last 2 plays. A nice little power play.
So Cade Adams on, Nate Williams off in the backfield for the Bulldogs. Doesn't matter. Trace Evans is going to
favorite
throw
receiver.
the ball to who else?
Cole Emmons.
Emmons has been the hot man all night. The catch is good for a gain to the 33-yard line. So it's about 5 yards to go here on third down. Big third down for the Antler defense.
Yeah, we need to get off the field here. We need to get. Of course, they're in that, you know, like you have said, they're in that little area where they might very well could go for it.
They've gone for
They
it
went
once.
for it on, on the 50, so why not on the 35?
So here's another pass, and it's going to
That's Charlton.
So Charlton breaks free of the tackle, which was right at the marker, and it's good for a touchdown, 33-yarder from Trace Evans to Dakari Charlton.
Turned into about a 30-something yard touchdown.
33.
10-yard route, 33-yard touchdown. Again, we're giving up. We're willing to give the receivers that 10-yard cushion. That has been obvious since the first play.
Yeah, they haven't adjusted that sort
We're
of
not
coverage
rolling
at all.
up in what we call pressing the wide receiver. We're allowing him to get off the ball pretty free and run his route.
So Buckley's extra point is
No
no
good.
good. And that puts the score with 7 minutes, 4 seconds left in the third quarter. Your Deer Creek Antlers 20 and the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs 13. Now it's game on.
Game on, that's right. There's a 7-point differential, and
That was a big missed field goal there. Sometimes those things come back to haunt you.
they sure do. I've seen several scores throughout the first 2 weeks where it's been a 1-point difference, and you know that it was that field goal, that extra point, that was the difference in the game. So Deer Creek needs to get its offensive legs back underneath them and move the football. And you know what? I'm watching Diaz down there. He's still limping. He's playing, but he
Not
is
100%.
still limping. That's right. You know, the guys were so dialed in that first quarter, and most of the first half. I mean, they weren't making mistakes. They were zeroed in, weren't missing tackles.
So I got my field glasses on Diaz. He's
hurt.
He's in the coach's ear. He wants to get on that field, and I think if I'm just interpreting some body language, he's doing anything he can to get back on the football field.
Again, he just went through that defensive set. Whether they on offense or not will be the question. Now we're going to run it.
So Memorial does that sort of pooch deep onside kick.
Number 20 on the return, Zane Shades.
So he's done that. So Zane's been able to make a couple of those. He fair caught the last one and had a little bit of a return on this one.
That was great. And we're up by the 40-yard line. Good starting position for our offense to get something going. Avoid the mistakes, avoid the penalties, and begin to move the ball.
So 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. That's good field position.
And what I liked about the last possession is that Huska was looking for other receivers that they haven't thrown to very much this year.
Right.
Michael and I believe it was. Well, I'll get the name here in a second.
Yep. Diaz takes the ball into a pile. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. So Diaz healthy enough to run the ball for the Bulldogs, but he's coming off.
He's coming off.
Lamorris Davis on.
You know, a lot of times offensive coordinators will have packages, certain personnel for a certain set or a certain set of plays. And notice that Parker Johnson came out, and number 87, Randy Childers, came back into the game.
So we'll see what the offense is dialed up here. Huska's looking to pass. He's got a receiver. And
That's a
he
great
makes a
catch.
catch.
That's old Jarrett. Go, buddy.
And that's Jarrett Burright
Touchdown.
for the score.
Huge play. That was shades of Lynn Swan right there, only not falling down. What a great play.
It was a great play, and that's great hand-eye coordination to
watching him cross that end zone. That was a beautiful thing right there. Heck of a play. The Memorial defensive back tipped the ball, and it went behind Jarrett just a little bit, and he was able to adjust and make the catch and still stay in stride to run away from the secondary.
excellent concentration.
Now he gets the hold for the extra point. He's probably a little gassed.
So the extra point by Logan Ward is good. And that was a big-time touchdown for your Antlers, and that puts the score 27-13 for the Bulldogs. 6 minutes, 12 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. So there we go. We had some fireworks.
Little fireworks, big play. Second big play of the night on the passing game. Huska just threw that right on the button. I mean, nice play.
So we've got, let's see, I got us at 4 plays total. Over the last 4 plays, we've had 2 touchdowns. If you don't factor in the
that's
the
kind of what
kicking.
happened in the second quarter. There was 2 touchdowns in 40 seconds at the start of the second quarter. I'm seeing, just watching the sideline, there's some kids down there that are stretching a lot. They are cramping up. It must be a lot hotter down on that field than it. No wind to speak of, so that the field kind of sits down just a little bit.
It is a little muggy tonight.
Yeah.
We're in the press box tonight, so last week we were exposed to some elements, and this week we have an air conditioner trying to keep up with the open windows in front of us.
Hey, Norman, enclose your top deck, please. I mean, we're walking around with water and electronics. Not the safest environment, I would say.
But we lived to tell the tale.
Yes, we did.
So Logan Ward set to kick us off here. And here we go with a kind of a deep, weird pooch.
They're going to try the same thing and run it out, number 17.
So Peyton Medeiros on the
Medeiros.
return. So let's see where they've got him marked down here. Looks like it's going to be about the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 Bulldogs. And let's see how they start this one. They started Horton. They brought in Evans. With Horton, they had more of like a run and gun sort of package.
5 out receivers, no running back, and
right.
They couldn't quite get on the same page. So they went back to this,
So
and this power game has kind of, pushed us back a little bit. I mean, it's kind of made a dent in us, and then they went to their same routes, those short routes.
So Trace Evans and Nate Williams in the backfield. Nate gets the call, and he's trying to get around that corner. Oh, and he picks up a big block.
Yep, that's going to be a penalty.
Forced out of bounds. Gain of about 4 yards on the play, but I imagine it's going to come back.
They're going to call that leading. I think they're going to call that a leading with the helmet there because it was a peel back block from the wide receiver. See if we can get it on. The call. What did he?
It looked like he did something around his chest. I couldn't see his
It's an
hands.
illegal block. It's it's designed to protect the player from those blind, what we used
Like
to
a
call
crack
crackback
back.
block, and Johnson got lit up right there a little bit. And I don't know if number 8 left his feet and led with his head. It didn't look like that from where we're sitting, but
Well, that backs the ball all the way back up to the 17-yard line.
we almost got a pick there. That's
Tipped
Mr.
ball.
Diaz right there, Johnny on the spot. Almost picked by Dylan Diaz.
So it's going to be 2nd down.
Kid's playing on one leg, and he's still making plays.
I'm beginning to wonder how wounded he is. He is a pretty fierce warrior.
He got dinged up, like I said, last week. And I can't remember if it's the same leg, but it was that upper leg injury, and he's still trying to walk it off.
So Nate Williams in the backfield with Trace Evans.
Here comes
Trace has
the
got the
sprint
ball,
out.
and he's
Looking for that deep
he's on
out
a
route.
roll.
They're going to give him the catch there. Dakari Charlton's having him a game tonight.
Pass
Nice
is
catch.
complete. So it's Dakari Charlton or Cole Emmons are the hot receivers tonight for
Primary
the Bulldogs.
guys. That's right. And they're the ones that are playing on the edges, and they're running those 10 to 15-yard routes.
So it's about a 10-yard gain on the play. Ball's at the 27-yard line. It's third down and about 17 yards to go here.
Again, the 10-yard route doesn't hurt them. You just got to tackle it like we didn't do on the last time when they scored.
On the touchdown. So here we go. Trace drops back to pass. And overthrows. He's forced to up inside the pocket a little bit. And he's looking for Andrew Horton that time. And that ball goes over Andrew Horton's head, falls incomplete. So it's going to be fourth down.
Good series by the defense. They needed to get off the field because they had to endure that entire drive on the score, and then we score on one play.
Right.
1 or 2 plays on the last time, so they're still a little probably gassed a little bit.
So Jamie Buckley in to punt the ball away for the Bulldogs. Or at least he's in punt formation. Yeah, I guess you never know these days.
I know it. All these crazy sets they run.
So he gets a good one here. And, it takes a Deer Creek bounce and is going to be down somewhere around the 40. 41 yard.
Yep.
So that is where your Antlers will take over. So the ball will be at the 41-yard line. Deer Creek scored on their last possession with a big pass play.
Quarterback to quarterback. Huska to Barite.
That's got to be fun, right?
That's got to be fun. And that shows you the kind of team player Jarrett is. I mean, to lose the starting quarterback job, but now he's contributing as a wide receiver. That's awesome.
Right. You want your best 11 on.
Right.
So here goes Lamorris Davis, and he's somehow
Go, kiddo, go.
Somehow
He is
has
breaking
escaped
tackles.
the clutches of the Bulldog off defensive lineman. And
Yep, all right, that's a horse
down
collar
to the
tackle there, Scott.
Scampers to the 38-yard line, and he's down on the field, and we got a penalty on the
let's
play.
watch this in slow motion or. It's a dangerous tackle because it pulls the kid backwards, and knees and ankles and feet get twisted up underneath there, and
forces the body to move into a way that isn't typical in normal football play.
So great. I mean, he was hit 3 times before he could bounce it outside. I mean, it looked like the play was dead.
He should have been tackled at the line of scrimmage.
Should have been tackled, and he just busted it out to the right side. And
great second effort.
Number 54, Charlie Sunram, has managed to get his paws on him and drag him down. So we're down to maybe our third running back if Diaz can't go. And that will be, I think, number 18.
So Lamorris is on his feet here.
That's a good sign.
But he's got some support from both sides.
Oh, yeah, he's being helped off the field.
So that is not good news.
So Diaz is out on the field right now, and number 18, Josh Bakari.
So the penalty
will be the backup.
The penalty will put the ball down at the 23-yard line, just upfield. So another big possession here. We're close to the red zone. We've struggled until tonight. Tonight we've been successful down here. So what can we do here? That's the question. Can we finish this off with some points? So Diaz in the backfield.
Nice play.
Huska.
Right to number 15.
Gets his pass complete.
Will Michael.
To Will Michael, who takes some defenders with him.
That's his third target.
And That looks like a 9-yard gain on the play, so it's going to be second down and 1.
It's a nice pass route.
So who's getting the backfield with Diaz? They're looking at Lamorris on the sideline.
Here goes Diaz.
Diaz
Oh,
right up the middle. Oh, I thought he was going to squirt in there. It's an excellent tackle by Christian Brown, touchdown saving tackle. But Diaz picks up the first down for your Antlers.
those legs, he's got to take care of them. They got to hold the other leg. Now he's limping on both, so he looks normal.
Okay.
He's limping on both legs now. Yeah, what grit that kid has.
Ice baths for everybody tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir.
Diaz again on the carry.
Yeah, get
And
that,
he's
get
going to be
there.
in there.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Antlers.
Watch how he comes to us. He's not stopping real quick. He understands. My legs are hurting there. I thought for a second Huska pulled that and was going to follow Diaz into the end zone, but great play, great call.
So 2 big touchdowns there for the Antlers on 2 consecutive possessions.
And that's the difference between this week and the first 2 weeks. They scored first, brought the game back within 7. We look like, oh no, here we go again. Then bang, bang, the next 2 drives, we put touchdowns on the board, not field goals.
Some big-time breathing room for your Antlers
We're
here.
about to go up 21 if we can get this to go through through the pipes.
Logan's foot touches the pigskin, and it's good.
We got another penalty. Some extracurricular going on in the interior of that.
I got another.
We got a kid down.
Another player down. And I can't see who that is. But he's not moving his right arm at all. So that can't be good. I can't get a number on him. Can you see a number?
No, I sure can't. A medical
is it a-
stat.
oh, it's a
he's
cramp.
cramped. It's his
Okay.
right leg.
Well, gosh, that right arm wasn't moving.
Yeah,
And sometimes you're like, uh-oh, is everything appropriately connected? You know?
The way God intended, right?
Yes. The way it's supposed to be. So 3 minutes, 52 seconds left here in the third quarter. It's been all Deer Creek.
Been a statement quarter.
So 34 points for them to 13 for the Bulldogs. So it's been an excellent third quarter for them.
And again, I can't emphasize enough that you're on your home field and you just naturally play better. This is where you practice. This is your home. They came out and hit us in the mouth in that first drive. I mean, well, first of all, they stopped us, and then we kicked to them, and then they moved the ball down the field and score. Charlton scores on the missed tackle, and we're like, uh-oh. But nope, our boys have bounced back and not only scored, but scored 2 touchdowns.
So that's Ben Likes down there getting stretched out.
So he had a little cramp issue earlier in the game.
That's right. So we'll see. He's going to come off under his. That's the gait of a kiddo that's got a cramp. Here he comes.
Gingerly walking
Yeah.
off the floor, and then, okay, I can run. Whoop.
Sometimes there's just nothing you can do when you pick a cramp up either. You just got to let that sucker ride, and it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So the penalty will be assessed. The extra point is good, so it's going to be assessed here on the kickoff, and I would imagine.
This is where that pooch kick would really, because you could kick it down to about the 10-yard line and really seal him off.
And he's done that several times, so that's definitely in the realm of possible here.
Yeah, Logan,
because that's one he can do.
Logan Ward has been giving he's given a signal to his guys and letting them know what to expect. So, and if you kick it through the end zone, that's great too. They start on the 20.
On the 20. So no, that's what they're going to do. So ball through the end zone. That means that the Bulldogs will get the ball at the 20-yard line for their next offensive series. We'll have to see. We'll see what Coach Orvis brings out to the field. They
had a lot.
They showed that sort of run and shoot offense there for 4 or 5 plays.
And then quickly abandoned and went back to the power game.
Yeah, and came back to the power game. So we'll see what happens here.
They've been running that. Lineman is leading. The lineman is pulling down the line of scrimmage, the left guard, and it's the old trap, counter, power play, however you want to call it. I don't know if the terminology's changed that
so
much.
Big Williams is now in the play. Big Mason Williams is in, and he gets the call. He is like a bowling ball. He is just a big old boy.
And you guess who's the first one to stand up from over the pile? Number 29, Dylan Beers. Kid is.
He's been on it tonight,
Yeah,
hasn't
he really has.
So Ben Likes back on the field also after his cramp, and so that's about a 3-yard gain to the 23-yard line.
And Likes and Osborne were also in that play. There's that swarm and tackling that we saw in the first quarter.
Yeah, that was excellent stuff.
A check with me play, checking with Coach Overs.
Mason Williams stays in the game behind Trace Evans.
Don't see Dakari Charlton out there, so.
And a little pump fake. I wonder if this was a design draw. Trace Evans keeps it.
Well, the receivers ran what they call pick plays. You can't make contact, can't actually set a pick like in basketball, but you run close enough to where the defender has to adjust his pursuit. And Peter could have hang on the ball just a little bit longer. They had a guy pop open. It's a good call, but
So
3rd and 4.
Evans picks up about 4 yards on the play. It's 3rd down, 4 yards to go. Big Williams out, Little Williams in, and Nate gets the call, and he's caught in the backfield.
Number 54, Big Reed Eden, 6'2", 213 defensive lineman.
That was a great play by Reed because Nate had hurt us the past few times he touched the football.
Tell you what, sophomore class is stepping up tonight. Quarterback Kuska, Reed is a sophomore.
Yeah. So these boys can get this experience and continue to grow. Just watch out.
Will be dynamite by the time they're seniors if the learning curve just continues to go.
So Buckley in to punt the ball again. And that's going to be Elijah Allen. And he is
That's a short punt.
getting out of the way of that. So there was a Deer Creek player in the area when that ball landed, but the referees have called it down at the 45-yard line.
And number 17, a little bit too close for comfort, Mason Martin. Got to get away from that football.
Even when I watch the college kids play and that punt returner goes and stands over the balls that's bouncing around, I get nervous for them. And it doesn't matter what team it is either.
Well, it's a call that's as old as dirt. When you kick the ball, get away from the ball. And they yell, Peter, don't get close. They just get away from it. They've been making that call since, as my old football coach used to say, since Moby Dick was a minnow.
Oh my goodness. So from the 45-yard line, Diaz in the backfield, Lamore still off, and he had the call, but there's a flag.
Yeah, they're down there trying to tape up Lamoris. A lot of tape being put on that. Looks like his left ankle.
So it's going to be an illegal procedure penalty against the Antlers. It's going to back them up 5 yards.
Yeah, the trainer is.
So first down and 10 from the 40-yard line now.
Trainer's putting a cast down there on as tight as he's putting that ankle wrap on him.
I mean, it's like they want to keep him in the game.
Yeah. There's Diaz again.
So Diaz somehow doesn't go down on the initial contact, and it was all Memorial could do to just hang on for dear life right there.
Blake Horton got his hands on him, wouldn't let go. Now looks like maybe another cramp.
Picked up 1 yard on the play to the 41-yard line. And now we've got a bulldog.
Here's another observation. When the temperature kind of gets cooler, like it has the last couple of weeks, athletes tend to not be as disciplined with their water intake. That's just a tendency. But and that might be a reason for some of the cramping. I know it's a little humid out there as well. We didn't see that much that first week, did we?
No.
When it was
it was just so hot. That first game against Southmore was so hot. So the Edmond Memorial trainer out on the field to stretch out their player.
Another good guy that's been around high school football for a long time, Jarrett Austin, head trainer for Memorial. Good guy.
So that's J.J. Ruff.
He's one of their better players.
He's been active tonight. So we've had cramps on both sides now. Makes you wonder what these kids ate.
Yeah. And, you know, it's been a beautiful week. I mean, the temperatures have been in the low 80s. Maybe, you know, one day it was only upper 70s.
It hasn't been super hot. So
No, so you kind of, well, I don't need to get that much water in me. And
I'll be okay.
Today was a little bit warmer, and I think it kind of took a toll on him.
Back to action here.
You
Second
got-
down from the
You
41-yard
got Axel
line.
down there on the right side, isolated. There you go. a
Morris
little
is back
drag.
in the game.
Huska is going to
Somehow
get
Huska
away.
gets out of the pressure and is forced out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Going to lose a couple yards.
Lost a couple.
Nice job. Turned what could have been a really bad play into not so much. Third and about 15, Scott.
So I'm not going to say impossible because we've had some big plays tonight, but we'll have to see what happens.
He's got to be smart here. You don't, I mean,
So that's Josh
You're up
Bakar
21.
in there. Sorry, I
That's
said
up.
that was Lamorris, but Josh Bakar is in now.
it's number 18.
Number 18.
He's a
behind
junior,
Huska.
5'10", 151.
And he gets the call. And if he can get the corner, he's got room to run.
Oh, keep your feet, kiddo. He's a galloper. Do you see that?
Sure
Those legs just are all over the place.
It's a 5-yard gain on the play.
Nice run. And that's the thing. I mean, you don't want to make a mistake and give up a possible cheap touchdown to Memorial by giving them great field position. Great call by Coach Stanley and Coach Paul.
You've got a good lead.
You got a lead, yeah.
So
You know, work that clock. We're down to 30 seconds left
right.
in the third quarter.
keep the ball in play, as they say. So Logan Ward is set to punt the ball again. He's been an excellent asset over the whole season so far. His punts have been fabulous, and this one
another
is
one,
no
good one.
different. So the Bulldogs will receive that punt, and it is fair caught at the 16-yard line. Long field for them. So from the 16-yard line, with about 9 seconds left to go in the third quarter, the Bulldogs
We got a long way to go.
will get the ball.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you make them work for if they're going to score, make them go 80, 85 yards. That was a great call by Coach Stanley, not trying to get cute and try to, pour it on. You've got a 21-point lead and a quarter to go. You got to make Edmond work for if they're going to get something, make them work extremely hard to get it.
And even if that means the little 6 and 7 yard curl
Right,
routes,
exactly.
just keep the ball in front of you.
Well, that's not going to beat you, but that
So
will.
Trace
That
Evans, he was targeting Cole Emmons
yeah,
again.
and it was a great call by Coach Orvis. Point, counterpoint, counter punch, punch. All of it's. He's been running those out routes, and Emmons ran the out, but then he turned it up on a wheel, and number 17 bit on the out route. And I know secondary coach, Coach Baker, is going to be talking to him about that.
So that was Mason Martin in the defense there.
Yeah, Mason needs to. The coaching point is this: you tackle the out route, you don't cover it. You tackle it. I mean, if you go up and you try to cover it, they're going to turn upfield, just like what happened there. And thankfully, the ball was overthrown.
So here we go, Trace Evans again. No, not really a big drop, just kind of takes it out of the shotgun, but he's forced out of the pocket, and took
nice
a big
play.
shot, and I think he got back to the line of scrimmage, so I don't know that we can call that an official sack, but that was great pursuit by the
It's a covered
defensive
sack,
lineman.
man. I mean, the guys were covered downfield, and the pursuit to the ball was second to none, man. Great job. Great third quarter for the good guys.
So that's the end of the third quarter with your Deer Creek Antlers 34 and the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs 13.
We're back for fourth quarter action. 34-13, 1 quarter to play at home. Looking good for the Antlers so far.
And in between quarters there, Lamorris Davis has been taped up, ankle braced up, and has shoes on, and looks
pretty good, doesn't
looks
he?
pretty good as he's running up and down the sideline.
Clapping his hands. He looks like he's ready to go.
Trace Evans on the rollout, designed rollout here, looking for his receiver. I believe that was Edmonds again, and the ball falls incomplete.
Great play by Mason Martin. Now
good
that
defense.
that time he played it exactly how you're supposed to. You stay off, you run that comeback route, broke on the football when it was thrown. They can't beat you once the ball's out of his hands, so that's when you go make a play. And he made a great play right there.
That was good defense, yeah, because they've caught that ball a couple times tonight, so we were able to get that in there and break that sucker up. That's excellent defense. So 4th down, 10 yards to go. Edmond's going to have to punt it. So Jamie Buckley in.
Elijah Allen deep, right around the 48-yard line.
So after Buckley's first couple of punts, he's been able to get a bit more consistent, bit more distance from him. His first one was 10. I think his second one was 20. So he's grown with the game.
About a 30-yard punt there.
So the Antlers are going to get the ball at the 44-yard line.
Great field position.
On the right side of the 50, and that's always a good place to start.
So here we go, 1st and 10, 44-yard line.
So Lamorris is back in the game.
It's good to see that.
After he walked off so gingerly here not very long ago. So let's see what happens here. He's got the ball, and he's into the pile and not much further.
44, Ian McDonald.
He was right there in the hole.
Yeah, he stunted on that play, came in, and he was not picked up by anybody.
So no gain on that play. It's going to be 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
Diaz back in the game for Davis.
So Davis out, Diaz in. So probably this is a how did it feel running the ball check. And Lamorris is talking with his coaches. So here we go. Huska, little stretch play to Diaz. If he can get the corner. Oh. It's good defense by the Bulldogs. They were able to stretch it out, and Diaz couldn't shake that last defender.
Never quite. I mean, it was kind of a broken play from the very start.
So loses 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, he just stretched us out, and Dylan took a big hit there at the very end, as you see on the replay. So third and
about 13.
13, yeah.
Burright is on the bottom of your screen.
He's going to go back up to the. He's going to go into the boundary. They're going to isolate Will Michael.
So Burright's on the top of the screen now, of your screen. Diaz in the backfield.
Yeah.
And Huska
going right to Michael. See if he can't make someone miss.
He can make a couple guys miss.
He
He's going to be close.
Well
Gain
done.
on the play down to the 32-yard line, and that's going to be good for a Deer Creek Antler 1st down and
Will
10.
Michael, junior, 6 foot, 176. He's suddenly becoming a valuable asset here in the offense. They've thrown to him 4 times. He's caught it, I believe it's 4 times. He's made 3 nice catches.
We do have a flag on the play here. I didn't see where it came from.
They face mask. So we're going to
mask.
get a little bonus yardage on the end of this run. Inadvertent face mask. So
accidental face. You know, in the history of football, I can appreciate the incidental face mask call as just a 5-yard penalty as opposed to the 15-yarder when we were younger.
Exactly.
So Diaz in the backfield, and he gets the call and is tackled about the 26-yard line.
Ian McDonald again on the same, basically almost the exact same play that they had a minute ago.
With Lamorris. So Diaz out, Josh Bakari in, number 18.
They must have some concerns with Davis. He's over here talking to some more coaches. Either they're like, hey, we got a 21-point lead. Let's not run the risk of losing you before district play starts.
Right. Let's get you healed up.
That's awful hard for kids to understand. You don't want something bad to get worse.
Right. So Bakari gets the call and disappears into the line.
Puts
and
the ball on the turf, it looks like.
Memorial says they've got it, and they do. So that's a turnover. Second one of the night for the Antlers.
Yep.
But it was a good drive.
Yeah, we moved the ball, removed some time off the clock down to 9 minutes 15 seconds, and they've got to go 75 yards if they're going to score.
So the ball's on the 25-yard line.
You know, you got a young kid and Bakari in there. He's getting his shot because of the injuries. He's 5'10", 151, and sometimes the adrenaline's a little bit too much, and they forget the fundamental of protecting the football. Edmond does a great job of trying to strip the football from you, and they got that ball to pop out.
So Trace Evans in. And I think that's Mason Williams behind him, number 20. And penalty on the play. Ball falls incomplete, but there's a flag down. And
I have a legal procedure
illegal
again.
procedure.
Memorial looks like they had 3 guys run on the field late, and then they're trying to get lined up. The quarterback's not giving his wide receivers enough time, and it's not his fault. I mean, the receivers are coming on the field late. That's about the 3rd or 4th time that they've come on the field late and they haven't been lined up and have had a penalty called against them.
Again, you hate those kind of penalties.
Yeah, because they're completely avoidable. A single receiver down here on the right side.
So Trace Evans with Mason Williams, and it's just
There's
there
their man.
goes Emmons.
Brought down by Elijah Allen there, Coach.
So that's going to get the ball up to about the 23-yard line. No, I'm sorry. I'm off by 5. 28-yard line.
28, yeah. Again, they were going to run the football. Let them run the football all night long. That clock runs as long as they keep the ball on the ground.
And they haven't ran a whole lot tonight. They've thrown the ball quite a bit. So Trace Evans forced out of the pocket here on a scramble, and he's going to be short of the first down marker.
3rd and short, it looks like.
So the ball's going to be on the 33-yard line. So 3rd down and about two long yards to go here. And we'll see if we can't.
Tried to hard count that one. Did you see that?
Yep, saw that.
But
the Deer Creek defense has done really good with the rushing tonight.
Yeah, our guys are on their game right now.
So they're going to. I don't know if that was a design quarterback keeper or not, but he didn't make it. So that's going to be 4th down. It doesn't look like there's.
You know, they haven't run any pass run options tonight, but that kind of looked like it because they had the hitch route at the top. I mean, on the far left side of the field. Mm-hmm. But then he decided to tuck it and run,
and he doesn't really drop back. He sort of sits right there where he is.
You see it on replay here. Yeah, he looked at the route and then he decided to tuck it and run, and I'm not sure if that was the right decision because he was open. 5-yard route was open on the far left side of the field. Great job by our crew, our film crew, and our producer getting that played.
So Buckley again with a punt. And it's going to take they've got an Edmond bounce here. That's his best punt of the night.
Yeah, by far. Yeah, he finally got that bounce, got that overspin.
So about the 12-yard line there is where the Deer Creek Antlers are going to take over. The defense does its job again. So they've had a really great game tonight.
Since that play, that missed tackle on Charlton, and Charlton was able to score on a 10-yard route for a 33-yard touchdown, turned into a 33-yard touchdown, we have clamped them down. They have had nothing.
Really, Memorial's offense has been 2 plays tonight.
Yeah.
And both of them Charlton touchdowns.
And, you know, to me, it looks like Memorial's still trying to figure out what kind of offense they want to run. You saw them with 5 out that one time and a different quarterback. And then they've been trying to run some of the finesse, zone reads and things like that. And then they run some power. So, they move
a lot.
and then they're throwing a whole lot. And it just seems like they're searching for something to work.
So Diaz in the backfield gets the call. He's made the corner there. And
wow. Great run, number 2.
It was a great run. And he made sure that the defensive player felt him.
Yeah, he lowered his shoulder there.
So that's about a 5-yard gain for Diaz.
Yeah, he gets out of there on the corner and watch him just lower his shoulder. Bam, just runs over that guy. Good morning.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. And he's hurting, but he's a football player.
Yeah, you got to love players like that.
Yeah, just run over you if you're going to get in my way.
So the ball's on the 17-yard line. Lamorris made one. He's been on the field once and came off after one play. And he's over here on the bench. I don't know that he's going to.
With his helmet on.
He's going to come back in. So Diaz in. Bakari fumbled last time, and we got a timeout on the field. So the
Coach
offensive
Stanley
staff saw something that they didn't like. That was a disgusting coach look if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, They had to call a timeout. They were about to get penalized 5 yards, and whoever was on the field, I don't know if that's Coach Paul or not, but he just kind of looked at Coach Stanley and said, I got it. My bad. And Coach Stanley wasn't real happy with that. That's
if you played sports long enough, you've received that look from the coach.
I have, yeah. Yeah, I've had that look several times.
But that's okay. Call the timeout. Get everything sorted out. You got timeouts to burn. You got the game in hand, so you don't want some sort of silly, crazy mistake to open up a bit of light for the Bulldogs. So talk it over. Make sure you're all on the same page, and then let's go do it right. So Huska in the backfield. He's been there all night long.
Done a great job.
He's been really good.
Sophomore.
Diaz takes the ball and right up the middle, and where the lineman on the far side is, that's a first down.
Looks like he got the forward progress. They never brought him down. You wouldn't know he's playing on a couple of tender legs, right now, because he's not limping nearly as much as he was in the third quarter.
No, he's running hard.
I tell you what, our big boys up front, Byers, Corbin,
read those names.
Boykin, Kelly, and DeMario. Byers at 293, Corbin at 270, Boykin at 272, Kelly at 300. And like we said last week, DeMario, he's the little guy at 210. They are moving people right now.
They've done a really good job all season so far. I know the season's young, but they've given our quarterbacks time to throw. They've given running lanes for the backs to hit. They've done a lot of good things this season.
They have. Since that first week when there was 4 or 5 sacks on Burright, I don't remember them since the Norman game and tonight, that many combined in 2 games. So,
no, they've been a lot more consistent. But even in that sophomore game, they showed lots of promise.
Right, absolutely.
So Diaz was the ball carrier there. There's a flag on the play.
Holding, I believe.
It's in the area of holding. So that'll go against the Antlers.
Going to put us back deep, back to the goal line. And again, 5.5 to go. There's no need to do anything silly here. Just keep the ball on the ground and
keep it in bounds.
Keep it in bounds, keep it on the ground, and you'll be all right.
So Diaz stays on the field, in the backfield.
And we're burning clock, no question. Coaches are holding.
Gets the call from the sideline.
And they're holding.
It's at the very top of your screen.
We're going to put the ball in the air. Ooh, dangerous.
So Huska is looking for Will Michael. It's overthrown. Will
a little
took a pretty
high,
good
and
shot.
he took a pretty good shot from the, number 80. Colin Morris put a pretty good pop on number 15, Will Michael. Will patted him on the helmet after it was over and said, "Hey, nice hit."
Second down and Quite a ways to go here. Just keep the ball in play. Diaz in the backfield. So I think we've probably settled on him for the remainder of the game, I would imagine. And he gets the call.
Yeah, you don't fumble and expect to stay in the game too much. I mean, I know Bakari wants to be back out there to redeem himself, but coaches are kind of funny like that. You get your opportunity, you don't want to put it on the ground. That's for sure.
That's right. So Diaz has gained 3 yards to the 15-yard line. Huska's looking towards the sideline, trying to get the call from the coaches. All the receivers go where they need to go. Diaz in the backfield.
You got 8 seconds on the play clock. Run it down to about 2 or 3, and
Diaz with the ball, following his blockers. He's tackled at the 17-yard line, so another 2-yard gain.
It'll be less than 4 minutes by the time we get the ball kicked here.
So that'll put Logan Ward in to punt the ball away.
Right here, I mean, Memorial needs to go try to block this punt. You need to do a punt block here. Go see if you can't steal a quick score here. And
so Aiden Hamlin is deep for the Bulldogs, and we'll see if
yeah, you're going to get a ball in good field position no matter what. So.
Right, he's at the 50. Logan's been good on the punts this year, so we'll see if he can get another one off. And like you said, Rick, this could be an opportunity for Edmond to come at him, and they do.
They do. Well, 31, just a little bit late. We got a great bounce. Perfect.
So Logan's punt is an excellent punt, gets a good bounce, and is down to the 35-yard line. So that was an excellent job.
I'll go back to this. We talked about this in week 1. Why do you let that ball hit the turf? Go fair catch it. If he fair catches that ball, it's on the 50. They're on the 50-yard line. That's 15 yards you just give up. I don't know why that's not. I'm just not seeing it anywhere anymore. Guys are letting the ball hit the ground.
Maybe it's if you don't think you can securely catch it.
It's got to be that. Let it go if you're not sure. But
all right, so the Bulldogs are going to take over at their 35-yard line. Mason Williams in the backfield with Trace Evans. And the pass goes to Mason. And he is just a tough runner.
They're calling it down.
So Mason Williams gets the ball, makes the catch, and is up to the 47-yard line almost the 47-yard line. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Bulldogs. And really tonight, that's how the Bulldogs offense has gone. They've had a couple of runs for 6 or 7 or 8 yards, but a lot of what they've done has been through passing.
Exactly.
So Mason Williams stays in, and he gets the carry, and he's trying to get to that edge.
You're not going to get past Parker. Big 41 right there waiting on him. Parker Johnson, 6'2", 206 linebacker. Junior.
Not today, Mason.
Nope.
It's a good play by Parker to make sure that Mason Williams could not get around him.
There's some really good, a lot of talent on that defensive side of the ball.
Second down, 9 yards to go. Evans rolling to his right, looking down the field. He's got a receiver.
Just missed him.
Led him just a little bit too much. So that ball was intended for Aiden Hamlin.
And, Elijah Allen was right there. I mean, he wasn't going to get any more than 10 yards, and that's you're willing to do that. The clock will keep running.
Ball stays in front of you. Ball in the field of play.
Just like how solid the defense has been tonight. They have been on point.
Yeah, they've been really good
the entire night. Very, very few mistakes.
So third down coming up. Evans has time. Now he's rolling to his right to see what happens here. He's going to keep it, try and make something happen. So a lot of running to pick up about a yard.
Yeah, he's looking deep, but the two receivers over on the far left ran into each other. So again, I'm just trying to figure out what is Memorial's what's their identity on offense? They're really struggling.
Well,
really
this
struggling.
is Luke Orvis's first year over there.
Yeah,
so
it takes some time.
Yeah,
exactly.
They may be trying to search for that themselves.
I 100% agree with you, and it takes time to do it on Friday nights, enough times to where you feel good about who you are.
So Buckley's punt is a high one. It takes a Deer Creek bounce.
A little backspin on the green. Putting for birdie.
So that is another punt for the Bulldogs.
So right here, I'm pretty sure Coach Stanley's just going to say, hey, I think we can probably take a knee. I don't think Coach Orvis is going to try to stop the clock with just 80 seconds left in the game.
So there's a minute 19 left to go.
Great job, great effort, big plays, sustained drives. Good play by our special teams. Kicking field goals, good punts. It's been a solid night. Victory formation. You got to love that.
Yeah, got to love the victory formation. So.
Absolutely.
But here's what's different. It's victory formation in the shotgun. So,
the art of snapping the ball to the quarterback under center is just gone.
Yeah.
I don't see any teams doing that anymore.
It just doesn't happen very often.
There is a team that is running the wishbone, though. I know of it. It's Watonga. Watonga is running the wishbone.
And if you run the wishbone right, it's just so hard. If you run it right, and if you've got the players that can make all those reads, it's just so tough.
It is old school football at its best.
So victory formation again, and they'll need to snap it probably one more time after this. So let's see how quickly they reset
Let's
the clock.
see if the official is smart enough to not crank this.
So we're at
He'll wait till after 25.
25 seconds.
There you go. There you go.
So he hasn't reset it yet.
That's a veteran out there. Here you go.
All right. Now he starts the play clock, and
no need to snap the
we're
ball
on the
again.
right side of that. So
what do you think?
I think this was a good one.
It's a good one to build some momentum going into next week's game. District
play.
opener.
That's
going to be
right.
at home. In fact, the next 2 weeks we're at home. We got 3 home games in a row. So
it'll be important too for we've picked up some knocks tonight, so it'll be important for these kids this week to make sure they get the right treatments. We also get Paxton Gary back next week. We hope. We're just speculating on that.
Right. We don't know the extent of his injury.
But there you go. All zeros on the scoreboard over there with the Deer Creek Antlers 34 and the Edmond Memorial Bulldogs 13.
So we'll see you again next week on Antler Vision TV. It's not Antler Vision TV anymore, is it? AntlerVision.live next week right here, 7 o'clock. Your Antlers will be taking on their first district opponent. We'll see you next week. For Scott Hazelwood, this is Rick Harris. We're signing off. Good night.
Final scores from Class 6A. Stillwater 49, Southmore 15. Muskogee